Good morning and welcome to Switzerland for IFSC Lead World Cup #1 of 2017, live from Villars. Perched at 1,300 metres above sea level and with a staggering view of the Rhone Valley, Villars is a small village in the Swiss canton of Vaud. Most of the residents around here live in classic alpine chalets and the village retains a quiet and peaceful feel. It is, however, a very international place, being home to two of the most exclusive international boarding schools in the world, including the perfectly situated Beau Soleil College in the village centre, which enjoys surely the most distracting classroom view of any school on earth. This is the IFSC's second visit to Villars, and it is already a favourite amongst athletes and support crew alike. And before we get on with today's semi-final, here's how yesterday's qualifiers went down. For the second year running, the IFSC lead competitors are back in the charming Swiss village of Villars, with its fresh mountain air, beautiful buildings and breathtaking scenery. Competition got underway this morning on our wonderfully positioned wall under a baking hot sun. In the qualifying round there are 2 routes for the men and 2 for the women, and the climbers are all trying to claim one of the 26 places in tomorrow's semi-final. Team Switzerland had a decent day at their home event with Catherine Chung, Alina Ring, Michelle Hulliger and Anne-Sophie Koller all through in the women's event, and Team France did even better with 6 women through. Many observers were also keen to see how young Italian climber Laura Rigora got on at her first ever World Cup. If she was fazed by the occasion, she didn't let on, climbing brilliantly to go through in joint 5th. Elsewhere, many of the familiar names from previous seasons were through, with the Austrian contingents of Hannah Schubert, Katharina Posch, Jessie Pilz and Yulia Feiser all through, as well as Reisa Ota of Japan and Evgenia Kazbekova of Ukraine. The top 4 positions in today's round had a very familiar feel, with Korean Jane Kim climbing as smoothly and precisely as ever and easing into the semis with minimal fuss. She was 3rd here last year and looks in superb form this time around. Anna Verhoeven was 2nd here in 2016 and comes into Villars 2017 with real momentum. She won the last World Cup of last season and just last weekend was crowned European champion.
I topped the first route. In the second one I hesitated a bit in the middle with a 360, which wasn't that hard in the end, but I shouldn't have hesitated. And then the rest of the route was fine as well. I just fell one move before the top. I've been training a lot the last 6 months. I went to Spain for a little bit of rock climbing and then to France as well for 10 days, but the rest of the time was just training indoors. I'm so grateful that I got to be European champion. It's amazing. Of course that was my goal, but you never know. It's so hard. There's a stress and the new routes. It's always different. So I was so thankful when I came down and I knew I had won the competition.
Mina Markovic is a climber used to winning. She's been competing in World Cups since 2004 and has been extraordinarily successful, winning 20 of them. She hasn't won one since 2015 though, and is determined to change that this weekend.
During the winter I started to prepare at the beginning of the year, but mostly I prepare with power and bouldering to the almost end of April, and then I started to add some endurance. So on European Championship it went good, but still I know that I can improve my shape to be better. I have some little problems with both elbows, but it is going pretty okay. First route is behind me, so it wasn't bad, it wasn't good either, but I'm looking forward to the next one.
Last year's dominant force Janja Garnbret is also safely through, and the semis tomorrow look to be the tightest we've seen for several years. Over in the men's competition, Team France also had an excellent day in the Swiss sunshine. Three of their male climbers, namely recently crowned European champion Romain Desgrange, Villars 2016 bronze medalist Thomas Johannes, and 18-year-old now Monchois, all went through and have the chance to reach the final tomorrow morning. In total, across both the men's and women's events, 7 of the 52 Villars semi-finalists are French. Although not the dominant force they are in bouldering, the Japanese team are also handy at lead, and 3 of their male athletes, including Kokura Fuji, made it through to the semis. The ever-relaxed Sean Bailey of the USA, fresh from making semis in the Vail Boulder World Cup, will join them and have the chance to match or even improve on his 4th place here last year. Last year's overall World Cup winner Domen Skofic is also through.
Yeah, my goals are actually to come back in the shape over the season. I'm actually planning to do all the World Cups. Maybe if it's going to go bad, I'm gonna skip the China comps, but planning to do all, and yeah, just like get in as many finals as possible and enjoy there, because I enjoy climbing in finals so much. I don't even care what happens. I just like want to enjoy the route in the final, and that's it.
One of the more interesting climbers to watch today was Alexei Rubtsov, who made it to semis in 13th place.
It is my second elite World Cup competition ever, and today I feel good. I made already one route. I'm not finished it, but I feel strong, and now I'm in good position. I'm really surprised about it because I made only bouldering mostly, but I feel good shape, and if you feel good shape, you can do any climbing, lead and boulder. So I hope to be in the game still tomorrow. Yes. I really like this wall. Last year I saw this competition on video and decided that this wall is really good for me. It's not so long and boulder routes, so this year I come here. I like this place, really beautiful.
And I'm delighted to say I've got a member of our very strong route setting team, Jan Zabranek, alongside me. And Jan, welcome to the live stream.
Welcome, thank you.
You've been working these conditions all week. The wall is currently covered in sun. Just tell us what conditions have been like and what it will be like for the competitors early on who are climbing in this heat.
Yeah, we were starting to set on Sunday. It was really cold, it was rainy. I took even my mountaineering boots on. So the friction was really good. And the weather forecast here in the mountains is not very clear this far ahead. So we didn't really know about the conditions. And on the sun, you know, this plastic hose feels much harder than normally. So we spent long time during the night trying to adjust the climb. So it was perfect. So we hope it will work better today.
Yeah, conditions quite difficult as things stand in Villars. It's extremely hot, fierce sun, and the sun disappears off the wall about 11:30 we found this week.
Yes, it does, yeah.
And it comes off at pretty much the same time on the men's and the women's routes, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we can have a good look at the routes. This is the men's route on the left of the wall, through the pink volumes, onto the green volumes, and then back onto pink, and finally back onto green. What's the nature of this route, the key? That green section in the middle looks very physical.
Yeah, like here at Villars, you know, you get a lot of bouldering holes, what you see on the Bouldering World Cups, and it's amazing for us that we can play with them on the rope as well. But, you know, it's long roof, and we are always trying to make it as a lead climbing, not too much as a bouldering. So sometimes you can find a little crimps on them to just change the style. And it's very pumpy, but still the route has only 42 moves. You know, compared to the other semi-finals what we were used to have at IMST or at the other World Cups before. Also, you know, the climbers will probably climb a little faster than you are expecting.
And meanwhile, we've got the women's route starts out in the yellow volcanoes, and it's grey and yellow with a tiny bit of black and pink all the way. And again, quite an interesting route. A lot of volumes, probably more than we're used to seeing on lead climbs.
Yeah, here at Villars you really get as much volumes as you need. Maybe sometimes a little bit too many. So we spend long hours looking at them and thinking what we can do.
And one of the big changes this year, I know it's for the final, and this is the semi-final, but we also have 6 minutes in the final. How has that changed your setting?
Well, it changes the setting, but actually here the wall is quite short. It's only 15 meters and it's very fast. So at this venue I think the time will not be this much problem, and also as I mentioned already, the routes have around 40-42 moves, so they are very short. They start right from the beginning and there's no intersection, they just go, you know.
And you can see on your screen now the start list for this women's semi-final. This is our first Lead World Cup of 2017. What a place to start under the Swiss blue sky. And it's hard not to think that these climbers early on will be at a slight disadvantage. As I say, the sun disappears about 11:30, probably about 2/3 of the way through today's semi-final. So once we get to the bottom half of this page, around Jessie Pilz and Salome Roman, conditions might improve slightly as the wall drops into shade. It's still very hot, but it's not in direct sunlight. Finally, our top 6 from today: Helen Janiko, Julia Shanodi, Mina Markovic, Jane Kim, Anak Verhoeven and Janja Garnbret. That top 6, particularly that top 4, has a very familiar feel from last year. And in the men's competition, Spain represented by Javier Cano Blázquez. Further down, Sebastian Halenka, who might have expected to be higher up, seemed to be in reasonable form, but didn't go too well in the European Championships last week and just about made it into the semis, but he can deliver. Loic Timmermans down there in 6th. Spoke to him yesterday, said he feels in great form. Interesting to see how he gets on again. That first 10, 12, maybe 15 climbers will be climbing in the sun, so we shall see. Further down, David Fernenberg, he was co-commentating with me 2 weeks ago in Mumbai for the bouldering. We see him in the lead. Not too bad as a lead climber either. Fans of outdoor climbing might know he did Action Direct in the Franken of Germany, not too shabby. Sean Bailey lower down there, fresh from the boulder semi-finals in Vale, and Domen Skofic, last year's overall World Cup winner, will be out 19th.
Nico, tu m'entends ou pas?
Top 6, Yuki Hada, Roman de Grange, recently crowned European champion. Jörg Verhoeven, good to see him back in the league competitions. Joval Schemmler, be interesting to see how he gets on. Fadej Samoilov and Stefano Gisolfi. Top 6, Stefano will be out last. And there is our wall in Villars, as Jan mentioned. It is a bit smaller than some of the walls we see, especially walls like Imst. We're not going to Imst again this year, but you might remember from previous years. Imst more like 21 metres if my memory serves me right, perhaps 22. But this wall's short here in Villars. We do have a new rule for the final. It's 6 minutes climbing time, not 8 as it was last year. The semi-finals are unaffected. They are as ever. And there is there's our wall in Villars. As I say, women are on the right, men are on the left. And Jan, this is your, am I right in thinking this is your first time setting lead this year? You weren't setting in Italy?
Yeah, it's the first World Cup, first lead World Cup, so it's my first job this year. We set some youth competitions, so we met a lot of the climbers in the semi-final before, so we kind of know how well they climb.
Well, yeah, I was just about to ask you actually how you judge the level when you haven't seen these climbers for so long. It must make it even more difficult than when you've done a couple of World Cups already.
Yeah, the first comp of the season is always really hard, you know, to judge the level. You try to remember how well they climbed the last year, and then you try to think, you know, if they have the motivation to train this year, if, you know, there are some newcomers that you are watching the youth climbers carefully if there's somebody who really wants to, push into the finals. So that's part of our job, it doesn't start just a few days before the comp while we just put holes on the wall, but it's also the opportunities what we get from the national federations to come to the training venues and set the routes for the teams, talk to the coaches and work during the off season with them, so we know what they like, what they dislike.
As you mentioned, makes it a lot trickier first time out. Haven't seen many of these climbers in action, certainly the non-Europeans, for quite some time. And both of our first climbers out. Céline on the right. First of two Belgian women. Today's semi-final, Chloé Collier, who we're used to seeing in the bouldering. She'll be out 9th. Raducanu Blasquez of Spain out on the men's route. Our first chance to have a look at the route. The women's start, you can see Céline closest to the camera, start on these yellow volumes. It's quite a physical start for the women.
Yeah, it's tricky, If you are nervous, you can make a mistake here. There are 2 volcanoes, but suddenly you climb to the first one and you think, oh no, maybe I'm here with the wrong hand. What can I do here? There are 2 or 3 solutions how to go through this sequence. And after this, you come into the first bubble, and Remy, the chief route setter, really wanted to make the girls little campus here. So we spent a long time trying to, use the hold, so we force them to hang and do little chin-up. So now I'm curious to see if they find out some little heel hook or if they really just have to go for it. Yeah, nice. I think this was something what he was aiming for.
Yeah, good to see Céline back in the semi-finals. Chamonix 2014, her previous semi-final appearance. I said 2 Belgians. How could I forget? Anna Verhoeven will be out, 3 Belgians.
Yeah, the Belgians are getting really strong lately. Like you can see it even on the youth comps. It's not only Anak, but now even the young girls, especially the junior girls, they did really well at the end. And they are coming up, and it's nice to see.
Anak will be out second to last. She'll be out 25th.
This is the hard move in the men's route. Well done.
Et je suis désolé pour le retraité, le monsieur suisse là, qui va venir en disant il arrête de parler.
We've seen Javier before in World Cup semi-finals. No top 10 finishes for him, interestingly enough.
Now, first dynamic move. We'll see how it goes. Yes. This was the crux what we were thinking that could separate, the climbers who could push and even hope for the finals.
There was a cross-through move. Is that the correct method?
Yes. It could be done statically, but if you are a little bit bumped, you have to go dynamic, and then you can lose the friction.
Céline in the women's competition, she was just about halfway up the steepest part of the wall here in Villars. It's a relatively simple profile. Wall overhangs about 10 degrees for the first 4 meters. There's around 8 to 9 meters of around 30 degrees overhanging, and then back to about 10 at the top. Relatively simple profile, but huge pink volumes adding to the complexity of the wall.
Yeah, I think the wall is very good. It's very fast compared to the other walls. Like if you compare it to the Briançon, the 30 degrees overhang, as you mentioned before, it helps us as the route setters to make them moving. Like there are no corners, there are no arrêts. You basically, if you want them to climb hard and fast, you can achieve it quite easy.
So second climbers out, Martin Teklers of Germany and Nolan Berthier of France. Be interested to see how Nolan gets on. Very young climber. We have got some especially young climbers here.
Yeah, Martin surprised me a few weeks ago when I saw him on the Austrian Championships at Innsbruck. He was one of the 3 climbers who managed to top both qualification routes quite easily, and he climbed also really well in the finals. I think he even made the podium, or he came 3rd or something, and it was really impressive performance from him.
Consistent. She was in 2000 16, finished between 24th and 37th in the 6 World Cups she did. You can see already the shade just beginning to creep onto the wall here. So if you are new to lead climbing, hopefully we do have some people watching for the first time. The aim of the game is to get as high on the wall as you can. The holes are numbered. We can't see them, they're not visibly numbered to us, but the route setters create a map of the route and number each hold, and it's a contest of who can get to the highest hole. The goal, of course, being to get to the very top. But the climbers are graded and ranked according to which hole they reach. We need 8 climbers to go through to this evening's final.
Et il faut déjà compter qu'il y a à peu près 4 à 5 places qui sont presque
Martin is just at the beginning of the traverse. This traverse is on the green volume, and I'm really curious how he does this sequence, because the Spanish climber before, he looked so easy on it, and it surprised me because this sequence is actually quite tricky. Maybe the friction on this house is actually not as bad as we were thinking on the sun.
Martin, bottom right of your screen, right in the middle there, right next to our camera. Nolwenn.
Elle a bien pris le rythme de la voie, il faut que le grain, on le voit hein, quand le grimpeur est fluide, quand les mouvements sont pas hachés.
Now these two moves are really hard. He grabs the pinch is still on the sun, crosses to the crimp is good so he can clip. And after that he has little time to rest and approach the jump that the climber before had the trouble.
Going nicely so far.
Heel hook was on the way to go, and it cost him a little bit of time, and then he didn't have enough power to finish the movement.
Nolwenn Berthier, meanwhile, seems to be going pretty well so far. Got a slightly awkward clip.
Yes.
Remember, the climbers have to clip all the quick draws. There's no option here of choosing to skip one out. You have to clip them all, so a slightly awkward position.
Yeah, now reaching the foothold for her was maybe a little bit too hard. It was probably better just to match the hands first.
So you think the key there is to match on that huge round yellow volume?
No, it depends on the size of the climber, I think. For the tall ones, it's better to kick the foot first. For the really short one, like it's really hard to reach, so it's better to control it.
Okay, next competitor.
So we're already on to climber number 3, both men's and women's. Just waiting for Katharina Posch, but Sebastian Hallenk is already out on the stage. The unmistakable figure. Good to see that back on the IFSC live stream. Familiar sight of Sebastian mentally rehearsing the route one more time.
It's always nice to see Basti during the competition. He climbs really well. I think it was a big surprise for some of you when he managed to win the World Cup in Ukraine last year at the end of the season. But you know, when he decides that he will climb, he can climb really fast. He can read the route very well, and it's just nice to be watching him. Like during the qualification he climbed also really good, but just when the climbs kicked in and they were a little hard, he was maybe a little bit unlucky and a little bit not concentrated, so that's why he is climbing from this position. But I wish for him the best, because it's always nice to see Basti in the final.
Yeah, he's one of the climbers who you might think would be slightly out of position, qualifying 24th for today's semi-final. Remember, the climbers come in reverse order, so if you qualify first, you climb last in the semi-final. Sebastian qualified in 24th and therefore climbs 3rd out of 26, but he is the last man to win a lead World Cup, won in Kranj, as you mentioned, back in November. That seems a long time ago.
Now I want to watch Basti carefully during this section and during the jumpy move, because if he falls there, then I will start to be really nervous.
I asked you actually just before we came on air if you still get nervous, and you said yes you do.
Yeah, I think this is a part of our job, and you like it kind of.
Meanwhile, Katarina Posch, you can see her bottom right of your screen, made every semi in 2016 with just one top 10 finish, 10th in Cran, so incredibly consistent competitor. Also been climbing in our Boulder World Cups. You might have seen her in the semi-final in Chongqing back in April. Meanwhile, Basti
Basti is coming to do a hard move, so come on, Basti. You can do this. No, go for it. Easy, come on, good. Oh, I feel big relief now.
He's figured it out.
Yeah. He was thinking for a little bit about the heel hook, but yeah, luckily he stopped and he just, did the move, and he did it really well.
That's a great shot. We can see him lining up to the last few moves before he ends up on the slightly less steep part of the wall. 3 or 4 moves to go before he gets there. Looks very relaxed.
Yeah, this is like the place where you can rest a little bit before it kicks in again. After you have a hard heel hook and little jump on the lip, and then from there on, it's basically just again very technical climbing, something similar as the top of the yesterday's qualification. You have to do everything perfect, because if you forget one hold or one foot hold, you have not much time to think of, and you can just fall and not being even pumped.
So he's taking his time. He's had a long rest here. He's got 2 minutes 55 on the clock. Katarina Posch, meanwhile, is back up almost to the high point of Noën Berthier. And again moves up onto that round yellow volume. It's exactly the same time Sebastian Halenke launches onto the top section. This is the furthest we've seen any of the men get so far. Katarina Posch off at the same point as Noën.
Now Basti is at the beginning of the very technical part. This is last good trim, he can choke up, he can clip, and these volumes on the top are just very, very slopey.
What a statement this would be, as I say, the last man to win a Lead World Cup, and he's powering up this men's semi-final in the fierce Villars heat. Oh, and he is furious with himself. You might even be able to hear those screams coming through our mics. We're only about 10 meters from him. There's another one.
I don't understand, but he's not happy. On peut l'applaudir, s'il vous plaît, mesdames et messieurs.
Not happy with himself. Took a long rest. About 5 or 6 moves before that. He's got his head in his hands. Absolutely furious, but it's a long semi-final. We shall see.
Yeah, Basti looks still okay. I think there was little disadvantage of him climbing so early in the day that it could be really hot on this slopey volume. And in combination with this, I think it was harder for him to do this move. So I think in the shade, we will see better progress on this head roll.
Representing Austria, and for the men representing France.
So our second Austrian female in a row, Julia Fieser.
C'est un de nos jeunes juniors, il est junior 2.
Now Monchois will be out next in the men's competition, but we can focus now on Julia.
Ici, très complet, beau travail de pied, beau gainage, belle puissance. Il avait été champion de France junior il y a 2 ans. Alors c'est les premières
very long junior career, Julia. We've seen her in semi-finals before. Made 3 semis in the last 2 years.
Ou cette année avec un beau hold-up. Et ensuite, vous aurez la première Suissaise.
Relax into the route.
Résultat pour l'équipe féminine
Good job of
suisse
it.
la saison dernière. J'espère qu'elle est en forme et qu'elle
Yeah,
va
now
briller,
she's
qu'elle
again at the
arrivera à
campus
accéder à la
section.
finale dans son pays. L'arrivée du Français, Nao Monchois.
Really happy that the girls are climbing very dynamically, you know, like it's rare, or it was rare to see 5-6 years ago that the girl would just go for the campus and, you know, release her feet, and maybe in the finals, but also in the semi-finals now, the girls are just jumping and they are more dynamic, and you can see that they are really training for the moves.
Alors ce soir, pendant le show et pendant les finales, on va vous mettre de belles musiques lentes sur la première partie, des musiques mystiques, des musiques sensuelles. Et ensuite, dès que les grimpeurs arriveront en deuxième partie du mur, on va commencer à balancer des musiques musclées. Et on essaiera de trouver le style qui correspond à chaque grimpeur, à chaque manière de grimper.
She's climbing at a pretty steady pace. At this pace, she'll be fine for time, Julia, but just over 4 minutes, a little over halfway up the wall. She's relatively slow on the first few moves, as I said, just easing into it. Now, meanwhile, men's route, you can see him bottom right of your screen, still on the lower section. As I mentioned earlier, it's pink volumes, then green, then pink, then green. Just trying to get as much weight onto the feet for the clip. This level of climbing, clipping the quick draws is virtually a move in itself. You've got to get in a good position. She did a good job just then. Again, a slightly shorter climber if she gets to the big round yellow volume, just out of shot. It'll be interesting to see how she tries to take it on. We've seen a couple of different methods.
You can also see how fast is the shade moving on the wall. You know, just a few minutes ago the hosts were on the sun, and now the conditions are getting a little bit better for them. So it will be interesting to see when the ball actually gets on the shade if the friction improves.
So here she is, Julia, at the about to reach that big round yellow volume. Oh. And it looked as if she went from very low down there.
Yeah, it would be important for her to lift her feet a little bit higher for this movement.
Simultaneously, now Monchois falls. A bit like Sebastian Haller, looks absolutely furious with himself.
I think it must be frustrating for the climbers, you know, just to be falling off the route and looking at their hands and thinking like, I still had the power, I just couldn't hold the hold anymore. And also, you know, as I had the chance to test the routes in different conditions, and we were 4 route setters on them, then every one of us has a little different skin, and you can also tell the difference who takes the holds a little bit better in these conditions. You know, some climbers, you know, climb on rocks a lot. You can see Adam Ondra, he has really hard skin, and on these plastic holds and these conditions, it would be also really hard for him. He would be slipping everywhere.
La première finale de sa carrière, son meilleur résultat avant
c'était 32e
du classement mondial il y a 2 ans.
Climbers do have a short observation period before they start climbing. They're not obliged to immediately jump on the wall. Francesco Vetterata, meanwhile, is out in the men. So far, men in the women's semi-final moving at about the same pace.
L'Italien. Et hier, on a eu un tellement beau spectacle sur la vitesse avec le grimpeur
Remember, you can get in touch with us as ever. Hashtag IFSCWC on Twitter.
Ils sont puissants.
Any observations about today's semi-final? First World Cup action in the lead for 2017. You got any questions for Jan Zabranek, IFSC route setter? And as we watch both climbers on the lower section of their respective routes, Jan, you've been part of a strong team this week. Just tell us who was involved in the route setting.
Well, the team was really good. The chief route setter, Remy Samin, French guy, really strong climber. Another route setter, French guy, Vincent de Girolamo, also super experienced guy, still very young, but it's a really nice guy, and it's nice to set with him. And the organizer gave us one of his best route setters, Olivier, and so it was 4 of us sitting on the wall. We had 2 great lifts. So actually, the first day it will be a tough job because it was really cold, it was raining, it was miserable. But since then the weather was perfect, sometimes even a little too hot, and we had a good time sitting here.
Yeah, it's a great little village, Villars. Recommend a visit if you're ever in the region. So, Francesco Vetterata on the left and Sophie Collet on the right.
Yeah, Francesco was just at the balancing move. It looked easy in, you know, when this strong guy's climbing on it, but I can tell you it's really easy to fall in this move as well, because it's balancing, and if you lose your left foot, that it's just hard to hold on the right grip as well. So Francesco has really strong fingers, so it looked easy, but you know, I would not be surprised if we lose some of the climbers in this section.
Francesco again, another climber you might have expected to see slightly higher up the order. Made a couple of finals last year, Chamonix and Arco. The key with these league competitions, we saw it so many times last year, particularly in the women's competition, is to climb really well in each round. In the unlikely event that climbers are tied, we do count back to previous rounds, so it's vital that you climb well in every round, especially so when it means you climb in the sun, as Francesco and Basti were.
You can see Francesco, it cost him a lot of power this last 5 moves. You know, he just wasted everything what he had, so we hope he will recover for the jump. He still has to choke up a little. Without the choke, it could be really hard.
Yeah, you can see how much he's straining.
Yeah, he was just fighting to get even into the position to jump off. It was just for the points, not even try to catch the hole.
Meanwhile, and Sophie right next to our wall-mounted camera. And there's what our camera can see. Literally about a metre from her. There it is. Perfect view.
She's coming close to the cracks point right now. She has the last volume before she approached the lip of the room.
So here she is back up. That's an alternative view of the round yellow volume. She looks pretty solid on it, but the trick will be to move.
Yeah. You have to release the foot very slow. Yeah, she did it very well. And now long reach into the cream. Nice, good job.
That's really nicely done from Anne-Sophie. It's, as you say, the key is just to get that foot off nice and slowly.
And it's also nice to see that it's possible to do this move on the sun. You know, it was also nice to see Basti passing this cracks move. That it is possible, maybe it is harder, but definitely it's not unreal.
As I say, it just underlines the importance of climbing well in every round. So if we're just trying to figure out these two left-hand holds. The first climber we've seen this high on the women's route.
You can see the left hold, the lower one. You should use left hand on this one and just match over. Yeah, she does it really well. There is a little foothold, just a little higher for her left foot. And I think she may have to use this one. Just step on it very carefully. And the next sloper she's aiming for is quite good. But the move, you know, you have to very control it. If you jump for it on this condition, it can be really hard. Yes.
You could see she was just struggling to figure out what to do with the right foot. Does it work if you put the right foot out to the grey volume, or?
No, it works only you have to step on your left foot really carefully, and the foothold is very, very small. So you have to just trust your left foot, forget about your right foot, and focus on your hand to get your body position in the correct foot. You know, she was really far off the ball, and then it was hard to stick the sloper, especially on this condition.
Meanwhile, Loic Timmermans, who did a couple of stints in the commentary box last year, is out on the wall where we like to see him. I had a chat with him, must have been a couple of days ago. He said he feels really strong, training's been going really well. He's still studying, but only part-time. He's had a lot more time to train. He said he feels really, really good. Really interested to see how he gets on.
It's always nice to chat to the climbers when they tell you they feel really strong and really good, so we always set the routes and they will be too hard at the end. But it's funny with the older climbers, you know, at my age, they always come and they say, oh, my elbow is hurting and my finger is hurting. And the young climbers, they always feel strong. It's just a mental game with the route setters, what they play.
Meanwhile, Vita Lukin is also out of Slovenia. What a strong team they have. Her compatriot Gambret will be last out today. Keep an eye on Vita, bottom right of your screen.
You can see Loic is using his heel hook really well, and it may save him some power during this section compared to Francesco, who climbed just before him.
Loic is a tall climber. How do you think that changes this men's route? Is it slightly easier for the tall?
Look, I think it's always an advantage on the walls which are not very steep. So it could be advantage for the top section of the wall, and it can be advantage somewhere where you can put a long heel hook. For these crux moves, yes, I'm probably same high as Loic, and I could do the cross move now statically, but it's still really hard because you catch somewhere in front of your face. So it's
and he's off, look, Timmermans.
Yeah. It's not very common move when you do a jump, but you have to have your hand right in your face and then use all your muscle and all your body tension to catch up.
And we saw that from Loic. Puts the hand in front of his face and just couldn't quite hold it.
Yeah, for the first time when you try the move, it's really strange. You know, you have to focus because you feel, oh, it's close, I can do it. But of course you can do it, but you can also, you have to put 100% and focus. Because you cannot wait till your arm gets straight, because then you just fall.
Avant, c'est interdit, quel que soit le niveau des grimpeurs, même s'ils sont capables de
the hold is just not good enough.
C'est qu'à des premières années pour rentrer en
Yeah, interesting stuff from Loic. As I say, came into this in great form, but exactly right from Jan. Just that cross-through move with your hand right in front of your face is so hard to hang on to. It's one thing to get there, it's another thing to stay there.
Yeah, and this is one of the moves we spoke before, you know. Last night it was the move what we were changing it, and we were making it easier and we were making it harder. And this is the easiest section, the easiest solution what we actually came up with.
And there it is again in slow-mo, and Loic absolutely furious with himself.
I think he did everything what he could, with just a little bit more focus on the lower part of his body, not just for the arms, you know, to stick it with his right leg.
So Vladislav Shevchenko is out. Meanwhile, Vita Lucan up towards the yellow volume that stopped a couple of our climbers earlier on.
Ensuite, on aura la japonaise, l'une des meilleures grimpeuses japonaises. Allez Vita, Heide.
Loic just walking past us now, does not look a happy man. Let's keep an eye on Vita Lucan.
Nice.
The feet come off. The feet were much quicker that time, but she managed to hold it.
Whoa.
But it's the next move that stops her. But well done. Still smiling.
On appelle ça commencer à grimper.
She's still a young climber, I remember her from the youth comps, especially at IFSC. It's nice to see when the climbers are slowly growing up, you know, becoming adults, learning how to compete the World Cups, because it's really different compared to the youth comps. Same with Vladislav. Vladislav is still a really young climber, and this year we had to see his performance. We were amazed how strong he is. But you know, you always have to think, you know, it's one of the first big comps for him. He must be very nervous, and he still has to learn the strategy. It's not, you know, Sean McCall or Jörg Verhoeven, who know exactly how to warm up and what to do.
Yeah, Sean McCall, of course, won here last year in Villars. He's not taking part this time. We didn't see him at Mumbai either. Two back-to-back World Cups. We haven't seen Sean. Quite unusual. But he won't be here to defend his Villars win. Last year was the first year of Villars, so as things stand, for another few hours, Sean's the only person to have ever won a Villars World Cup. That will all change this evening. The only man to have won a Villars World Cup.
Yeah, it's sad not to see Sean at the competitions, you know, because there's always somebody who you can rely on, that he can put really good show, no matter what happens, you know, he always fights and jumps and climbs very fast, and it's nice to watch also for the route setters.
We keep an eye on Vladislav. I've just been told with not having one or two issues with the internet. I do apologise. I've been told that because of the geographical location of Villars, it's impossible to get extremely fast internet, which we require here. I'm not a tech guy. I don't know why that is, but that's just what I'm being told. Apologies if you are having some problems with the stream.
This is the hard move what he's doing right now. I hope he will fix it somehow. I hope he has a plan. Okay, he's coming back and try to do the crosses. Come on, nice. Hope this doesn't cost him much power for the jump.
Just a quick one again about the streaming. If you are struggling to see us, go to the IFSC website, ifsc-climbing.org, and that's where you'll find hopefully a slightly faster live stream than the YouTube one. So go to the IFSC homepage. Hopefully the stream will be faster there than it is on YouTube. I do apologise again for the issues. They're very frustrating for us as well as they are for you. We'll try and sort them out.
On vous rappelle que les demi-finales sont souvent plus difficiles que les finales, ça permet de...
Meanwhile, Rita Ota is out for Japan. Shevchenko is off. Does not look over the moon about that fact.
Oh, Rita is down too.
Yeah, Rita down relatively low.
Yeah, she was struggling on the big volume, you know, it was very slopey and she didn't kind of sort out her left foot very well to get in the position, to get enough friction on this hold. So suddenly she just lost her balance and she was out of the movement.
Well, she continues her record of making semi-finals, made every semi in 2016, but she won't be making the final, unfortunately. Here in Villars, she unties and makes her way off the stage. Meanwhile, a familiar figure, more in bouldering competitions, it must be said. Jan Hoyer. A lot of people very interested to see how Jan gets on. I've seen him in league competitions before. Most of his successes have been in bouldering.
Yeah.
21st in the European Championships in Italy just last weekend in the lead.
It's nice to see Jan on the rope as well, because he always opens your mind as the route setter as well, because I remember 2 years ago at Crunch, suddenly in semi-final we made a mistake with the quick draw, and there was the sequence where you had to climb really long traverse to the right and back to the left, and Jan Hoyer just climbed on the foothold directly up, and you know, one move more and he could be in the finals. So he tried the moves after. The moves are incredibly hard, but because he doesn't have enough endurance, he has to climb really fast and efficient, and he sees these, you know, open possibilities for him, you know, to find the mistakes of the route setters. So it's a good challenge for us to, you know, to watch him on the climbs. We oversee all the possible shortcuts for him or no.
Keep an eye on the top of your screen. We are about to see the results, and Sevicole currently leads the way, 34 plus. Sebastian Halenke, we saw him furious with himself, but he is currently in the lead with 33.
And Jan is in the cracks move now. Good.
And that was the move where Loic fell. Jan sticks it. Pretty much pure grunt again. He's one of the taller climbers.
Yeah, you could see he's probably too tall, so he couldn't use the little micro on the top of the hole, but he aimed for his palm and he just compressed the movement. It's very impressive to see this fast decision.
Yeah, and finally Jan seems to take a small break and chalk up. He's climbing, he's only been on the wall 1 minute 40. He's already close to 2/3 of the way up.
Yeah, Jan is climbing very fast and very efficient. I think the break for him, it could do a lot, because he doesn't have as much stamina as the lead climbers, but he's got the power and he's really tall, so we'll see how he does.
Fighting through these pink volumes. He'll be back onto green volumes shortly, and then he'll be on the final section of the route. He's already onto the lower angle top section.
Now, this is a hard move.
Here we see him, he's just trying to go as fast as he can, doesn't want to hang around too long. And you can see the fatigue kicked in, seemed to kick in quite suddenly. It was one move he was okay, and then suddenly you can see him just beginning to struggle.
Yeah, you could tell the difference between him and Sebastian Halenke at this section. Then Sebastian was really choking up, getting ready to climb to the head wall, and then suddenly he slipped and he couldn't really pinch the volume anymore, but Jan knew it's over. Becoming too hard for him, and he just was trying to get as many points as he can, and I think this will play a lot, because the move he just skipped, it's really difficult for most of the climbers.
Meanwhile, Uska Rapusic of Slovenia is out. One exceptional team Slovenia have, particularly in the league climbing.
Donc ils sont chauds, hein, nos athlètes. La saison est commencée.
Uska just over halfway up the route.
It's nice to see in Slovenia the continuity, you know, with the climbing, that you had the big stars like, you know, Mina Markovic before, and now the young girls are coming up and stepping up, and they are not afraid to try the World Cups, and the team are bringing them, and you know, they need this experience to improve, so it's really good. Nice drive with the knee bar. I like this. Wow, and it even works. Nice.
Yeah, you need very long lower legs for that.
Yeah, but also the foothold is not the greatest, you know, it's really slippery. But
she's really getting something out of that knee bar though.
I hope she will choke up and, you know, recover enough for the sloper.
You can see now from the fact that the light's changing that the middle section, the most steep section of the wall, is now in the shade for both men and women. As we mentioned earlier, the shade hits both routes at pretty much the same time.
Now she's holding the sloper, we'll see.
So,
she's young.
Very
just
slow.
release the feet slowly, she does so.
Oh, too tired.
And looks frustrated.
But
a pretty good effort though, superb to find that knee bar.
Yeah, I really like to see the girls using this kind of tricks, you know, because for the boys it's normal, it's common, and you saw probably Adam Ondra last week at the European Championships. He was even climbing with the knee pad on. But for the girls, you know, in the short shorts, putting her knee on, it's really good fight. I like that.
Speaking of Adam Ondra, his compatriot is out on the men's route.
Jakub Konečný, he's a young talent coming out of the Czech Republic. He's a good climber, strong climber, but it can be up and down with him. He can climb really, really well and really strong, and sometimes he can surprise and fall unexpectedly really low. So of course I cheer for him, and I would be really, you know, happy to see him to go past this hard section on the grid volume.
Produces a lot of very good climbers, Czech Republic.
Yeah, there is the Czech culture, you know, we have a lot of climbers climbing on the rock, and the competitors are, you know, coming. You know, we had Tomáš Mrazek, really strong climber. Jakub is coming past this crack section. It's nice to see.
Yeah, that move that Loic Timmerman just fell on, Jan Hoyer stuck it, so does Jakub. Jan just came past, looked pretty happy with his performance. We've both got a fist pump.
Nice.
Jan, he didn't look like he wanted to be interviewed, otherwise I would have tried to grab a word. But he looked reasonably happy with his performance. I think he was off to find some shade. We can concentrate on Jakub. Bottom right of your screen, that's a familiar figure to view bouldering fans of Chloe Collier.
Jakub is now taking some rest before the head wall, so hopefully he will recover. Yeah, as we said before, like in Czech we have always like the generational, you know, hero, like we had Tomáš Mrazek, now we have Adam Ondra, and it's motivating the young climbers to be training and coming to the gym and trying to be like them. So that's why probably sometimes the Czech climbers are training much more than they should. Nice. Hard move to the head wall. Good for him, just ducked it.
Yeah, the left shoulder, you can see all the force going through that left shoulder. He made it work though.
You can see he's getting a little tired, but well done, come on.
Come on, Jakub.
Oh, he's clipping in the wrong place. Oh, come on. Well done.
He's got power to spare, Jakub.
Go for it, come on.
Going for that tiny pink crimp, and he goes to the right hand. He can't quite stick it.
Yeah, from the heel hook it was really hard. It's easier just to step with your left hand, left foot on the volume on the left, and just stay with your right foot really low. And now we can watch.
Let's have another look at the replay.
Okay.
Here he goes to the right hand.
You can see his left heel hook, and just left of his foot is the volume. If he pushes to the volume, you get a little bit more balance out of it, and I think it's a smarter way to do in this situation.
Just allows you to keep the body a bit closer.
Yeah, and you are lower with your body, so you don't get as far with the little jump of the ball, so you can hold the little crimp and stay hard on your right foot below the roof.
Parce que la magnésie
Meanwhile,
permet
Chloé
l'adhérence du
Collier,
grimpeur, mais trop de magnésie,
back in league
voilà, ça fait,
competitions and good
quelque
to
chose
see.
de moite et de pourri. Donc on est toujours obligé.
Whoa, but off about midway up the route and there was a big shriek. You might have heard it again through our microphones.
Chloé, elle s'est fait surprendre sur un mouvement.
It looked like she was just resting on the slope and suddenly she was off the wall.
Et on va accueillir derrière Chloé la deuxième Suissesse. Elles seront
Let's see if we can
4
find you a
en
replay
demi-finale
of
aujourd'hui. Et pour
that
le
from
moment,
Chloé.
c'est
Not
l'Italien,
happy. Here it is.
Mr. Marcello
So she
Bombardi.
matches both hands, just setting herself.
Hands up.
Italie.
Oh, okay.
Et
She
ça sera
didn't
le deuxième
kind of
Italien
got
de
the
cette
volcano.
demi-finale.
There's the big
Le
yellow hole
troisième,
for the right
c'est
hand,
le meilleur
and she was
résultat
trying to
de
get back
qualification.
down,
Il
but she was too high with the
dernier.
position and she couldn't kind of recover anymore.
That was difficult to watch in slow motion. You could
Yeah.
see her just slowly peeling off the wall.
I could see all the pain she's going through her body.
Qui va faire son entrée, qu'on va applaudir s'il vous plaît très fort. Elle a réussi
Yeah,
à rentrer
knowing
dans
you're
les
going to
20
fall
de
off
la
makes it that bit
qualification
harder.
hier, Michel Villars. Elle est
So
très jeune,
Chloé
Michel, elle est 99,
never one to hide her
première
emotions too
junior.
much. She doesn't give
Et on peut
too
l'applaudir,
much
c'est un
away
talent suisse, cette
off the
demoiselle.
wall or when she's approaching the wall, but
Ensuite, je vous rappelle
when she
qu'on aura
falls
pour la
off, you'll
Suisse
know if she's happy or not, that's for
Catherine
sure.
Chang, qui a été incroyable hier. Et il y
So
aura
Marcello
évidemment
Bombardi
Alida
is
qui est
out.
présente aussi.
Second
Catherine
Italian
Chang,
male
c'est
climber
peut-être
we've
la
seen so
meilleure
far today. We'll
saison
also see an Italian
de sa carrière,
male
en tout cas,
climber.
début de
Last
saison.
out today, Stefano Di
Elle a sorti
Solfi.
la voie de qualif hier magnifiquement bien. Ça a été la première Catherine.
Yeah,
à
Marcello is
sortir la
climbing
voie
really
de
well. I
droite.
always like to watch him. He always reads the sequence very nice, and he's technical climber. You can see that he doesn't have probably as
Ils ont
much
une
endurance
belle équipe, l'Italien,
as most of the
avec-
others,
Alors, on
but he
croise les
always
doigts
reads the
pour,
climb really well, and for me it's nice to watch him because he reads the idea of the route
Il est
setter.
blessé à l'épaule et au biceps un petit peu.
So sometimes when I watch him, I
c'est
say,
un petit
oh, the
gabarit,
route is
hein.
nice.
Votre
I like to climb
Suissesse
it.
Michel Hulliger, donc elle va être obligée de prendre
So Marcello
des risques.
onto
Il
the
y a
green
pas de
volumes.
mouvement morpho
Held
quand
some
on est
cat
petit.
and
Il
elbow
faut savoir
in Italy.
grimper et composer. Voilà, elles savent faire le
Doing
job.
World Cup since 2009. Imps
Pendant
his
longtemps, les
first
meilleures
appearance.
grimpeuses de la planète étaient les petits gabarits, Kim Yahin. On avait Dinara Frakidignova,
Meanwhile,
Salomé Romain.
On the
voilà,
right of
beaucoup
your
de
screen,
filles
Michelle
qui ont fait de
Hulliger
très beaux
of
résultats.
Switzerland. Young climber. Looks good in the qualifiers.
Really high foot for Marcello.
Allez. Allez, lui aussi, on voit,
Meanwhile,
il
bottom right of your
continue
screen,
sa
Michelle
machine,
pretty
il
much
regarde pour pas commettre
canvassing
d'erreur.
those early moves on the women's route. Marcello
Cette
just
partie-là, je vous jure qu'elle est,
trying to figure out how to
elle est
clip.
dure hein, pour
Makes it
les
work.
grimpeurs.
Yeah, he had to really focus on the
Ah,
move
toujours
just
le
before
regard, c'est le plus
the little
important.
cross.
Toujours
He
être
had his
loin.
foot really high, but you know, he committed. He did
Gilles
it really
là-bas,
well.
derrière
So
la-
hopefully he will
la
recover
capitaine
mentally for
italienne.
this
Elle lui
movement.
dit tranquillo.
Nice.
Et ça passe.
Strong guy.
Yeah, just
Come
sticks
on.
across through. You could see how physical it was though. Both teeth gritted as he went for it.
Maintenant,
Yeah.
c'est le
You can see his
muscle qui va.
big bicep grabbing the hold. Well, I was jealous for a little bit.
Ah, c'est un beau bébé, hein, l'italien. On voit les biceps là.
He's fighting now. Didn't take the
Regardez comme
rest.
ça vibre au niveau du
Barely
triceps.
paused on
Yeah.
that big hole. Just went straight
It
through.
will be hard for this movement now without the rest.
Le
Yes.
mouvement, il est délicat pour le
You know, you
voir.
have to
Dès que le
choke
corps
up
vibre
and
un
get
petit
into the
peu.
position. Maybe
Après, il
relax
faut
a little
une
bit.
belle
The rest
chance,
is
une
also
belle
for your head.
précision.
You know, you have to say, okay, it was a really hard
Terminé
section.
pour,
Now
Marcello
I have to relax,
Bombardi.
and now I go again.
Il va rester 3 grimpeurs avant les
Yeah, it was interesting. Chose not to stop. We saw Basi Halenka take a long break there, and Jan Hoyer took a, by his standards, relatively long break. Marcello went straight through, and as you say, it's not just physical, the rest.
Yeah,
It's a good point.
you know, like probably Marcello felt like, you know, I'm pumped anyways. Like I go as many moves as I can. I would not be able to rest here physically anyways, so let's go. But maybe just to take few breaths, choke up and go could probably help him to do this movement after.
Well, this is actually her second semi-final in a row. She appeared in Kranj at the end of last year.
Des volumes.
Our last IFSC
Rappelez-moi,
action.
c'est pas les endroits les plus confortables.
Got a
hein, le
battle
volume,
on
c'est
her
sûr.
hands.
Bien,
This
Michel,
women's
bien.
route. That was a physical clip.
Yeah, it's you can see the heat, you know, like how it's working against the girls. Wow, that's the same movement as the girl before. You know, it's really hard for them. If you rely just on the friction and wait till the friction comes to you, sometimes during this heat it may not happen. You know, you have to be very strong in your body, be a little bit slower, use your body tension a little bit more, and just grab on the hold a little better. Don't just slap with your hand on the hold and wait till the friction does the job for you, because today there is no friction on this slope.
Christophe Henke, il faisait partie de ces 4 grimpeurs. Il y avait les frères Fernandbourg, il y avait Sébastien Alenke et ce jeune homme.
So first of 2 German male climbers in a row here. Christophe Henke, who'll be followed out by
Allez, pour
David
l'Italie,
Fernandbourg.
representing Italy, la petite sœur du numéro 1 et du capitaine de l'équipe italienne. Là, c'est Claudia Ghisolfi. Claudia Ghisolfi, c'est un gros mental, une famille de grimpeurs, elle lâchera rien. Toujours le sourire, Claudia aussi, elle a beaucoup de
Hope
talent, ces
the
deux
issues
modèles.
with the live streaming have been resolved. Don't forget, go to the IFSC homepage for the fastest stream. It appears to be faster than one on YouTube, I'm being told.
Donc, ce qui a
And you can get in touch on Twitter, hashtag IFSCWC if you've got any questions for Jan Sabranek.
et elle est physique.
IFSC route setter, part of the very strong 4-man route setting team that created these routes here in Villars. In women's competition, Claudia Ghisolfi is out.
And really good job for the German team. 5 climbers.
First of the 2 Ghisolfis that we will see today.
Yeah, as the commentator just here mentioned, it's really cool that there are 5 German climbers in the semi-final. It's amazing to see. You know, just a few years ago it was, you know, Bastian Halenke, maybe 1 or 2 others, but 5 Germans in the semi-final. I think there's good progress in this nation, and I think they are on good way.
Yeah, of course, for all nations, the Olympics looms. All the teams trying to set themselves up for Olympic glory. Germany doing a pretty good job of it right now. So he's powering his way through this
It's
green volumes.
really well. I'm surprised. No, nice, very strong. Found the hole.
Now,
Well done.
will he rest? He'll certainly click from here. It looks like he might just be shaping up for a rest. He is. Yeah, it made very light work of those green volumes.
Yeah, he climbed it just perfectly. You know, with his heels clipping, everything was just right. The timing was correct. Now he's a little shorter, so he chose not to keep his feet on the lower volume and put him really high to rest. So hopefully it will be enough.
Meanwhile, bottom right of your screen, Claudia Ghisolfi is on the move where we saw Chloe Collier fall. We also saw Michelle Bulliger fall, so the previous 2 climbers have fallen from this hold. Meanwhile, Christophe Henke fighting his way onto the upper section of the wall. He's back into the sun. These moves so tough, especially after what's preceded them. Again, he launches without going out the foot.
This is the German way of doing it. Nice. Still fighting really well done. Come on. Wow, well done. He locked himself into the move. He was probably surprised that he could still hold on, and then, you know, he was aiming for the points, didn't know what to do, so he just kept climbing, and very well done.
Yeah, really nicely done.
Et Claudia Ghisolfi bien calée sur son mur.
Claudia is climbing really well this year. I saw her on a few trainings at Innsbruck, and he did a lot of work on her climbing, and it's really good to watch. I was impressed with some routes she could pull through. We'll see how she likes the slope.
Next competitor is from Germany too, Mr.
She's just heading up to that big round yellow volume that was causing problems earlier on, and once again causes problems.
And yes, applause for Claudia Ghisolfi, Italy.
And applause from the crowd here in Villars for her climb there for Claudia. We're approaching halfway. 2 more climbers in the women's competition and 2 more in the men's. Meanwhile, we've got the results for you. As things stand, remember, still a long way to go. We are looking for 8 climbers to progress to the finals. Claudia Gasolfi just taking one last rueful look at the route. There we go, and Sophie Collin currently leading the way, 34 plus in the women's competition. Vita Luke and Oskar Pusic, top 3 as it stands. It's 2 Germans in the top 3 in the men's competition, Christoph Hanger and Jan Hoyer. As I say, long way to go though. So David Fernenberg out on the wall, commentator in Mumbai, competitor in Villars. Climbed in the semi-finals in Mumbai, didn't quite make the finals. We haven't seen him in boulder finals before. Not in Mumbai. Really enjoyed having him along. Some good questions for him on Twitter as well. Thanks for sending them. Hashtag IFSCWC if you have any questions today.
Alors Chamonix et Briançon qui sont des gros spots de compétition internationale comme
he's at the technical part.
en Autriche.
You could see he was hesitating a little bit with the technical movement, but now he's on the good horse again. He can recover a little bit before the green volume starts.
Voir 15 000 personnes en délire, pour eux c'est juste le bonheur.
Becerra is out for France.
Il y a des compétitions dans le monde où il y a très
really strong climber. And a good 2016. Also saw her in a Boulder World Cup back in Innsbruck. She also does speed. Real all-round athlete. And meanwhile, David just struggling with those holds. Perhaps quite surprising. They're familiar holds to boulderers.
He's very tall and he's a lot of time, you know, on this volume. Maybe his fingers are a little sweaty. And, you know, in this first hard move, it was deciding.
It really is brutal lead climbing, particularly in the semi-finals and the finals. You make one mistake and it's all over, and it's why it makes consistent lead climbers even more impressive. Just make a single mistake and your day is over, and unfortunately that's what's happened to David Fernenberg. Doesn't look very happy.
Yeah, you could also see the bandage on his right knee. Maybe there was a little bit, you know, disadvantage on the traverse from right to left when you have to use 5 or 6 heel hooks for the right leg. Maybe it was just hurting her.
So we can concentrate on Mathilde. Meanwhile, her compatriot Thomas Johan comes out. Mathilde, she's got just over 4 minutes left on the clock. So she's been climbing steadily, not quickly, steady pace. At this pace, she'll have no issues with time. 6-minute time limit in the semi-final and the final now. Time won't be an issue for Mathilde if she can keep up this pace. So we saw Chloe Collier and Michelle Hulliger fall from this next move up to the volcano. Needs to take her time. She won't be aware of that, of course. You can see a perfect shot there of her as she lines it up.
You can see how she did it really well with her shoulders. She was ready for this move.
Mathilde, généralement, elle est très précise. Elle va jouer avec tous ses atouts pour assurer et valider ses mouvements.
And again, just able to rest on not particularly good holds. Gets the clip done nice and early. She's got one more quick draw to clip, and then she'll be on the lower angle section of the wall, just to give you some idea of where she's at. Roughly halfway up the route.
Ok, là il devrait rentrer dans quelque chose qui lui convient pas mal, Thomas Jeunesse, il est assez fun.
Yeah, also when you look at the girls, you know, all the little yellow footholds what they are stepping on, they look kind of big on the screen, but they are the little volcanoes, they are the dual texture holds, when you have to be very careful and very precise where you step, because one part of the hold is slippery. And if you are just not focused and not 100%, you know, paying attention, it could be really quick and you can just slip off the hold. So it takes out of you a little bit and you don't want to rest there. So even it looks when they are shaking, it can be hard.
Mathilde fighting her way through this roof.
She runs really well with her heel hook. It helps her to get her body out of the roof. I would not probably to clip out of this hold. Just keep climbing, please.
Yeah, you could see it was quite fiddly. Knows what she's doing. There were 3 finals last year for Mathilde.
Nice, she's climbing really well.
She was 13th last year in Villars. Can she go better this year? It's certainly looking promising at this stage.
Climbing really well. This is a hard move. This little left holder has a block on the right side, so the girls cannot match and it cannot rest, so it's just for the 3 fingers. It's just big enough. And the one just above that is not better. So the route setting team was really trying hard for the girls not to be shaking too much. We just wanted them to climb.
I just was worried for a second she'd fallen off. I just saw her hand disappear off the hole, but she was just chalking up and getting ready to go
Really
again.
well. The heel hook what she has is quite good decision. Makes the movement a little easier. She can even rest and choke up before this crux bouldering section. Because from now on, all the way to the top, to the last sloper, there is no rest and no choking.
There is shade, however. The top section of the wall coming increasingly into the shade.
Nice.
Mathilde grabs the volume and on to the next crib.
This was a long move, and now it's a really balancing move to the next crib. Well done.
Superb effort from Mathilde Becerra. She made 3 finals last year. That could well be enough to make a final here in Villars.
And let's watch Thomas Johannes is climbing into the hard section. We saw a few climbers before struggling on the screen volume.
Meanwhile, we just have a look at Mathilde's last move. There she goes. Let's get back to Thomas.
Oh, his heel just slipped before he could start.
Hopefully we'll also see a replay of Thomas. Here it comes. Just saying about Mathilde Becerra. Really impressive performance from her. Ditto Thomas. Let's have another look.
Swap his foot. Again, put his heel really high. Forgot the volume on the left. He tried to sit, adjust his hand, and as he was adjusting for the thumb, his heel hook just popped off.
Yeah, that pink hole he was on is in the full glare of the sun. So you can see 2 guys in blue t-shirts, part of our route setting team. No one's getting a top rope on the route. That's Vincent. He's about to go and clean the men's route. They get cleaned midway through the semi-final after 13 climbers. So Vincent has been volunteered. Jan very cleverly volunteered for commentary.
Oh, I love brushing. It's my favorite joke. Well, after commentary.
No,
I joke. Brushing is really good.
Alina Ring, the 13th female competitor, is out. After she's finished, we'll then have the brushes out on the women's route as well. The brushing is just done to try and ensure that conditions are the same for all the climbers. The holds don't get too dirty, too sweaty. So midway through the semi-final, they do get a clean. Remember, of course, there is always a difference in conditions, particularly here in Villars with the sun. But the route setters do what they can to make it as even as possible by cleaning the route, and that's what Vincent is doing right now.
Here you could also see the colors of the holes what we chose, because we knew the timetable, and even when they told us there is high chance of rain during the Saturday, that we were thinking, okay, but if it's not raining, it will be on the sun. So out of all the holes, we chose the ones with the lightest color. So you cannot see the black volumes on the wall. You cannot see the dark blue or purple holes on the wall. We are trying to see the light or use the light colors, so they are not as hot for the hands of the climbers. So the advantage of them who are climbing in the shade is not as big as it would be when we would use the black volumes.
They think of everything, these route setters. Meanwhile, Alina Ring, you've seen her in junior competitions for a long time. Made the semi-finals of the 3 World Cups she did in 2016. She was 9th in Paris in the World Championships. Climbing in front of a home crowd, an ever-growing crowd here at Villars. If anything, the heat putting people off rather than encouraging people. It is absolutely fierce here. Got plenty of Swiss supporters to cheer on. Climbs up past our camera. Made very light work of the move, where we saw Chloe Collier and Michelle Hulliger, her compatriot, fall.
On vous rappelle que ce soir, aujourd'hui, on s'occupe de
So
la
as
Coupe du
yet,
Monde.
no tops
Demain
on either men's
matin,
or women's
la
routes.
jeunesse
The route
suisse sera
setters look
présente
like
ici
they've judged
pour
it pretty well
une
so
des
far.
trois
You
coupes
happy with
mammouths
what you've seen?
et une coupe
Well,
nationale
there are
de
some cracks
difficulté.
moves, you know, and they are the moves what we are working on, and you are thinking like, oh, we should do this, we should do that, but you know, it's just half through the competition. Maybe there will be still one big mistake somewhere hidden that we don't see right now, or maybe it will end up just perfect. So I'm not judging right now, I'm just nervous.
Alina Ring onto that big yellow volume that's caused a few problems, and you can see she's just trying to find the perfect place and the perfect way to hold it.
Allez, allez, il faut encourager Alina.
And again,
Well done.
yeah, slowly releases her feet. That's been the key to that move. Don't let yourself swing.
Allez, vous sortez, hein, vous sortez.
Slap up
commencez à être
with the
épuisé,
left
donc
hand to that
le
next
mouvement
crimp
n'était
was
pas
just
assez long.
unfortunately a move too far.
Allez, nettoyage de la voie chez les filles aussi.
But good
On prend
effort.
5 minutes de
Yeah, and
pause.
she keeps up her good record of lead semi-finals. Does all three disciplines of climbing, speed, lead and boulder actually, Alina. So as I mentioned earlier with the Olympics coming up, you could do worse than keeping an eye on her.
Yeah, this is interesting for us researchers as well, that we have more boulder guys coming to the lead comps. We could see Jan Hoyer, we will see Alexei climbing soon. It's really amazing to see these power machines climbing, because they are used to climb on these volumes, they are used to climb, you know, really hard moves, but just they don't have endurance. So it's like two sports mixing in one, and it's nice to watch, and it changes the route setting a little bit for us, because before the semi-final it was just endurance, and you were climbing slow, and then it started getting harder and harder, and now we are trying to say, okay, we have to start soon, because it's not a bouldering competition. We have to start right from the beginning with the hard climbing. So the boulders, you know, they get tired. So this is little different mindset and different game for us too. But it's amazing to see how these guys can compete very well in both disciplines.
Speaking of climbers that compete in both disciplines, Chloe Collier there, you see it down in 12th. Mathilde Becerra currently leading the way, 36 plus. Christoph Hanke leading the way, 34 plus for him. Jan Hoyer in second place. And Czech Republic being well represented as well in the top three. Jakob. Lower down, Loic Timmermans currently in 8th place. If it all ended now, he would be in the final. You suspect that might all change pretty soon though. David Fernenberg in 13th place, fresh bouldering season. Look at who is still to come. Alexei Rubtsov and Kokura Fuji. Be interested to see how they get on. Sean Bailey, Domin Skofic, Kachira Koronaga, the names jumping out there. Very strong in both sides of the competition today.
The really interesting thing yesterday about the qualification was that in the male competition field, the most known climbers are not climbing at the semi-final at the last, so they didn't do as well as we would expect. You know, we would expect double top from Domain, we would expect double top from Roman, but they are there, they are climbing in the final. They will be climbing when the head wall is on the shade, so they will be fighting, but it was just little surprise for me, and you could see the guys like York Verhoeven or Sheila from Israel that they are topping the routes, and it made me feel very good. It's not just a close group of the top 5 climbers, you know, fighting for the overall victory, but there are coming new climbers. Of course, York is not new, but you know, who could kind of fight for the final, and who could, you know, get excited, and they can train and work on themselves, and it's a good motivation for us as well.
Yeah, I think in both men's and women's, lead is one of the closest disciplines. We really have extremely strong competition just to make the finals in both sides of the draw.
Yes. You know, and they are getting stronger and stronger every year, you know. Like, it's like the climbs are getting harder and harder. I can see it during the demonstrations. You know, 5-6 years ago when we still used to do the live demo, that we as the route setters, we could climb the routes or we could take a break, but it was okay. But now we are quite happy for the video demonstration when we can take many breaks and cut them off. and we won because the routes are getting really hard.
This is a replay we're seeing here. These aren't live pictures. The routes both routes are currently being cleaned by the route setting team.
Sera le constructeur de murs pour les Jeux Olympiques? Est-ce que les 3 murs olympiques seront
You
des
can
murs
see
reconnus?
Christoph, he was climbing really well his climb. You know, the section with the green volumes, he read very well. He saved a lot of energy for the head wall. And the sequence just before he fell, when he messed up and he kind of from the slippery, you know, warm volume, he chose to go up with his left hand, and then he knew that it's over, but he still managed to stick with his right hand. And he was like, okay, and I do one extra move, and now thanks to this, he's now the leading competitor. So the fighting is really important.
Yeah, it's a good point you make. The score, as I mentioned, in lead climbing comes down to one number. It's just which hold you reached before the competition begins. The route setters denote which hold is considered a handhold. Remember, it's measured on handholds, not measured on footholds. It's measured how high you get with your hands. And I'll just read the rule for you for the purposes of scoring. This is rule 6.44 in the IFSC rules. I'm sure you knew that. The hold should be considered as controlled, where a competitor has made use of the hold to achieve a stable or controlled position. And then if we see a plus after the number, a hold from which a competitor has made a controlled climbing movement in the interest of progressing along the route should be considered as used. The score of a competitor using a hold shall be the number assigned to that hold of the route sketch with a plus suffix. That's how you achieve a plus. You make a positive move off the previous hold. So that's the scoring system in lead. You get a number, and if you make a positive move in the interest of progressing along the route, you get a plus next to your score. So as long as you don't just lunge for the next hold, as long as you're not just sort of jumping to record a plus, but you make a real attempt, it's always worth just going for one more move.
Of course, yeah. You can see the competitors, you know, they know, you know, the experienced ones, sometimes they don't clip because the clip doesn't count as long as they don't climb over the quick draw, so they are out of the, you know, the rules. So it's sometimes if you know it's finished, just climb as much as you can. Just every plus count, especially here when there are maybe 20 guys who are really having a chance to be in the final. So you can see here we have the 5 top guys with 2 or 3 movements. So if you choose to clip, then you may lose the power to do the one extra movement, and this could cost you the final.
So an interesting competitor to watch, Alexei Rubtsov. Of course, the competitors would have been hoping that that cleaning process took as long as possible, because nearly all of both routes are in the shades. 2 or 3 moves on each route still in the sun, but of course the wall will retain the heat. So the competitors, as I say, will have been hoping that the route setters took their time cleaning. The men's route is clean, Alexei Rubtsov is out. The women's route is still being cleaned. You can see there, the bit that's being cleaned now, just about the only bit that's still in the sun. So conditions will improve pretty much every climber as they come out now. Certainly in terms of temperature, not necessarily in terms of cleanliness of the holds.
Yeah, you can also see, even now the holds are in the shade, they still will be warm for a few minutes, you know. So the later you climb, the better the conditions will be.
Just to give us some idea, when you were setting this week, how long did it take for the holds to cool down after the sun disappeared?
It depends, really depends on the color of the hole. Yeah. You know, like you can see now the green volume, let's say this volume has different structure and different material than the pink holes below. So the pink holes will be fine, you know, let's say in 5 or 10 minutes after they get in the shade, but the green volume kind of accumulates the heat for maybe 10 or 15 minutes longer. So we will have to wait for this crack move to cool down before it will get easier for the rest of the climbers.
Speaking of those crux moves, here is Alexei Rubtsov, already a Boulder World Cup winner in 2017. Been really impressive and consistent in the bouldering. Great to see him trying the lead. It was fun to watch him in the qualifiers yesterday.
Yes, we spoke about the boulders. You can see how well they can move on the volume. You know, it's easy for them because that's what they train for. You know, all these movements, You know, they are used to just coordinate their body in these ways, which are the awkward jumps and awkward positions. You know, the lead climbers, sometimes they have troubles, so if we want to make it hard for them, we kind of do this trick move and they get pumped. But for the boulder guys, they know they will get pumped anyhow, so they just go for it and they just grab the hold and go really quickly.
One of the best climbers in Austria.
Meanwhile, Alexei chooses not to take much of a rest.
Yeah, you could see his shoulders. He was just pumped already, you know.
Yeah, really good to see Alexei here, and a pretty impressive effort. Got past that tricky section on the green volumes, chose not to rest, powered through. Let's have another look. This was the end of his attempt. Went with the left hand. We were talking earlier, just go for every single move, you never know.
It was great performance from the boulder guy. You know, sometimes for these guys, it's like Jan Hoyer or Alexei, it's a good chance to go to the final when the route setters, that they make a little misjudgment and make the semi-final too hard too soon. Because then they get fresh into the boulder section, and because they are powerful, they can go through the hard movement and, you know, make their place in the final. So I think it's good for them, good effort to be trying this. And of course, for the Olympics, it's just good experience for them, so they learn to train and they learn to climb on rope as well.
Alexei, a real fighter of a climber. So here's Hannah Schubert, sister of Jakob. First climber in the top half of this lead semi-final here in Villars in the women's competition. We've already seen Alexei Rubtsov. He was the 14th male climber, the 14th female is Hannah Schubert. If you watched our coverage from the Youth World Championship, she spent plenty of time in the commentary box. Something of a sensation, I think, on the social media for her very blunt opinions. Really enjoyed having her. She's great to have. Tells it exactly how she sees it. Really great fun. But prefer to see her on the wall. If not, as I say, she's really fun to have in the commentary box.
Yeah, I think it's the family thing. Her older brother, not Jakob, but the other one, he is always the speaker for the Innsbruck competition, and he does a really good job. So I think it's the family thing. They are really open and they say what they really feel.
I remember saying to Hannah in China at the Youth World Championships in November, would you be interested in doing some commentary? She said, oh yeah, I love talking.
Yeah, I agree.
Great to see on the wall though. Jakob not taking part here in Villars. One man who is Kokoro Fuji. Keep your eye bottom right of the screen for him. Again, already a Boulder World Cup winner in 2017. Increasingly seeing him in most of the lead competitions. I think you'd still call him mainly a boulderer. Plenty of lead as well for him.
Good luck, Anna. Comment Marcus and all the Austrian staff là.
I'm always amazed how the Japanese climbers climb so easy on the volume. It's like they have different kind of skin, like the Spider-Man or something. You know, it's, the friction what they get on the hose is just so nice. I don't know, somebody calls it contact power or something, but they are so strong.
Hannah, meanwhile, she's taking her time here. She's got 3 minutes 45 on the clock. And she's less than halfway up the route, so again, climbing at a steady pace, but not a spectacular one. She'll be heading up to the big round volume where we saw Chloe Collier slip off earlier on. There's a good close-up of Kokoro Fuji. He's taking a good long rest. Plenty of time for him. He's got 4 minutes on the clock. Hannah gets that slightly tricky clip done. There's another tricky clip coming up though. And now she's just got to get in position to move up to that yellow volume. You see her trying to make the most of the rest. Kokoro doing exactly the same. Both climbers found a small rest point.
Ah non, elle avait commis, autant pour moi, elle avait commis une petite erreur sur les dégaines.
Yeah, I think Hannah is one of the slowest competitors we could see today. He comes over 3 minutes and she's just halfway up the bowl. So if she wants to really think of the finals, she will have to speed up a little bit.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it could be tactical, as you mentioned, the very top section. There's no real rest. She might have figured out during the observation that she can't rest on the top section, so just to climb slowly before she gets there. But we shall see. As you say, might need to pick up the pace slightly. Shaking out regularly though, trying to conserve energy. Meanwhile, Kokoro Fuji.
Oh, he chose to clip again.
Yeah, choosing to clip from an uncomfortable position.
And now, please help Kokoro to
Nice.
get to the top. Come
This
on.
is the volume. Beautiful. Whoa.
Looked as if he really had that. Had the perfect position. We can concentrate on Hannah again. Now she's up to the round yellow volume that's been causing a few problems. And so the key here is just to release the feet slowly.
And you can see the volume is just got to the shade, so it may still be a little warm, but it definitely the conditions are improving for her.
Quick replay of Kokoro there. You saw he got a hand on it, couldn't quite stick it. So Hannah, she's got through that move up with the left hand. Goes through to the volcano with the right. I think she might have timed this perfectly. She's got 1 minute 40 on the clock.
Well done, Hannah.
As we mentioned, there's not much opportunity to rest high on the route.
Yeah, this is the last chance.
So she's used her time really intelligently. You just hope she's not too tired. We've seen her shaking out almost every move, and now she can launch into this top section.
Long move, controlling the sloper. Oh. She chose to do the move differently than the girls before. She kind of left her right hand lower on the crimp, and then the last few centimeters were kind of missing. You know, maybe this move was easier to back in this way, but as you go further and further, she just missed the last 2 centimeters to control this hold, and she had to jump, and on this sloper, it's just really hard.
Yeah, you can just see her reposition once and again, and once again, she's just taking a rueful look at those moves. Had a really good day in the qualifiers yesterday. Topped one of the routes to big applause from the Austrian supporters and I might add the Swiss locals. A few shouts of Maschine from the Austrian team. And her compatriot Jessie Pilz is out. No Magdalena Rock at this competition. Also got Koichiro Kuranaga out on the men's route.
Yeah, I met Maki in this group and she had some finger injury, but she's hoping to come back and she should be competing against Briançon, hopefully if everything goes well.
Yeah, the latest I heard was she'd just been missing the first 2 World Cups. She did win a World Cup, remember, last year in Imst.
Yeah, I remember there was the really long climb we set over the roof for the girls, and there's our home gym, and she really likes to climb this roof again and again. So I think this was a big advantage for her because she knows how to move here. But of course, really great effort, and it's not first time that she got there.
Kokoro Fuji just walked past us, looked pretty happy with his morning's work, looked tired, I might add. Meanwhile, his compatriot Koichiro on the wall, Jessie Pilz from Haag, just south of Linz in central Austria.
Oh, missing the dog.
Yeah, she made 4 finals in 2016. Jessie Pilz, second in Briançon, being the highlight. 5th in Paris in the World Championships as well. She was 3rd last week in the European Championships in the Dolomites. So she is a real contender for this final. She's climbing 15th here, but definitely a major contender for one of the top 8 spots. And we're getting to the stage of the competition where places will begin to be finalised. Just a few climbers' time.
Dans une voie acrobatique l'année dernière,
And you know, you can really tell how the field of the competitors are getting really competitive now. Even for the girls, before somebody who climbs like Jessie Pilz would never struggle, you know, in the qualifications, and it would be just 2 dogs and easy way to the finals. But now you have to focus on all 4 climbs during the competition. So not just the qualification, it's just an easy day, easy warm-up. But the climbs are really hard and they are tricky. The route setters are trying to force the climbers to introduce some new movements for them. because they have the chance of the flash climb, and they have the chance of the, you know, that the coaches will help the athletes to read the sequences. So if you want to prepare something very special, many times we try it in the qualification, just to see how they react. You know, as they see how to climb it, they learn the movement, and then for the onside they can just do it in the semi-final or final.
So Kochiro Koronaga, he's got to where we've seen plenty of the climbers resting. And he took the rest as well. Smaller climber, and the move looked easier for him, I have to say. His natural position was lower on the hold, and it seemed to work. Meanwhile, Jessie Pilch, she's onto the round yellow volume. Got to release her feet slowly, and then it'll be up with the left hand. She's just setting herself. She's read it well. Just really nicely done from Jessie Pilch. She's used a heel hook to control the feet. Very smoothly done. It's often amazing. You see climbers fall on a move, and then another climber comes out and cruises it. And we've just seen that from Jessie Pilch. She looks smooth, looks in control. Meanwhile, Kochiro, he's looking very solid so far.
Yeah, he's getting close to the cracks. Watch for the end of the ball. Nice.
Fighting to hold that grip with the right hand.
You could see he's one of the shortest climbers here in the semi-final. But this could be advantage and at this stage.
Meanwhile, Jessie Pilch is mantling.
Strong, holding her crimp, well done. Oh, he had only 2 fingers on the crimp, but well done.
Great fight from him. We can concentrate now on Jessie Pilch. She's pulling her way onto the least steep part of the wall. Both routes, just the women's route completely in the shade. A couple of moves in the men's still in the sun, but the women now completely in the shade.
Jessie still has 2 minutes to climb these last few moves. There's still one rest before the top of the wall on the big sloper below the enterprise sign. So we'll see if Jessie can reach this hold.
Wow. Cannot. Jessie Pilch doesn't look very happy with that performance. We've still seen no tops on either route.
Just quickly look at her fingertips. It looked like she was not happy with the friction she got on the last sloper.
So this is the replay of Kochiro.
See, just 2 fingers on the hold. Wow. Before pulling up, maybe he could spend little time to readjust the right hand. Got the 3rd finger on the hold, and maybe he could pull through this.
On peut l'applaudir, messieurs, dames. Vous voyez, elle ne me regardera jamais en souriant, hein. Ça c'est mort. Hein. Ou alors c'est vraiment qu'elle est malade. Ok, on continue, on va rentrer bientôt dans le top 10.
Kochiro off, Jessie Pilch
qui
off.
rentre maintenant est un grimpeur suédois, le seul grimpeur suédois de cette demi-finale. The only climber representing Sweden on this semi-final is strong. Mr.
So Hannes Puman is out. The only Swedish climber in the semi-final today.
Hannes is really talented. Since the youth categories, I used to meet him on the comps for the kids.
Just a quick replay of Jessie Pilch. We can see her again. Just talk us through these moves. Just going out with the right hand.
Oh yeah, the left hand is just really sloppy hold, and probably Jessie didn't even got the thumb catch really well. This would make a big difference.
Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, we were talking about Hannes, like he's climbing for a long time. He was climbing through all the youth categories, always climbing really well, many victories in this. But then suddenly, you know, it takes little time before you learn to climb with the open, because the moves are bigger, the routes are more powerful, and I think this year Hannes just made the step up when he can finally, you know, just compare his physical abilities with the endurance what he gained when he was in the youth group.
Meanwhile, Salome Roman is out in the women's competition. Familiar figure in the lead climbing scene. Hails from Briançon, will be in her hometown in 3 weeks' time. Made final last year here in Villars, also repeated that feat in Xiamen. 5th last time out in the European Championships last week. A real contender here in Villars. One of the shorter climbers, we'll see how that affects things.
Yeah, exactly. She's so short. Sometimes for us, amazing for the route setters what she can do, and it always looks really nice on the camera, you know, when she's fighting for the moves, because the holds for her look much further than for most of the other climbers.
Jens Branek alongside the IFSC route set, a part of the route setting team that created this route. Hashtag IFSCWC on Twitter if you've got any questions for him. We've watched a very entertaining semi-final so far. No tops just yet. Some superb fights. Most recently on the women's route, Jesse Pilts and Shiro Koronaga on the men's. Hannes Puman out on the men's and Salome Roman on the women's as we speak.
So Hannes standing really well through this section, taking a rest on the last jump.
Elle se fait pas embêter par ce volume gigantesque.
Just bring you up to date. Mathilde Besser is still leading the way in the women's competition. Jessie Pilts and Hannah Schubert and Sophie Koller, Alina Ring, Vita Lucan, Urska Rapusic and Katerina Posch, your current top 8. Awful long way to go still though. Only 8 slots available. And we talked earlier. I'll resume in just a second. Let's keep an eye on Hannah's.
He does the jump. Oh,
he's fighting. That's the only bit of either route that's still in the sun. Come on, Hannes. 4th last weekend in the European Championships. Can he make the final here in Villars? He's certainly giving this everything he's got. Just needs to get through this really hot section in the sun. Correctly uses the black volume.
Yes!
Oh, so close on that right hand. Oh. That's the second to last hold. It's still in the sun. He was so close to hanging on to it. And he just takes a final look up. Meanwhile, Salome, 2 minutes 40 seconds now left on the clock for her, so plenty of time. Wow, and just couldn't quite figure out how to get through the roof on that enormous pink triangular volume that dominates this wall here in Villars.
Yeah, you could tell that Salome chose the way how to do it for the tall girls. So she put first her left hand, then she swung her foot, and then she was trying to move her right hand closer, but she felt it's too far for her, so she tried to use the foothold as an intermediate, and then it was just over. The foothold is too small to use.
And there's our wall here in Villars. You can see on the left-hand side the speed wall and then the lead wall in the foreground, and what a view it is behind it. Interestingly enough, you can actually see the mountains of Chamonix from the centre of Villars, where we'll be in a few days' time. You can make out some of the famous Chamonix peaks. We really are that close. It's quite the view here. So Sean Bailey's out. We saw him in an action, what was it, a month or so ago in Vale in the semi-finals in Boulder. Interestingly enough, he was the only non-Japanese climber in the top half of the men's semi-final there in Vale. And another very interesting climber in the women's route, Laura Rigora, just 16 years old. We saw her in the Youth World Championships in Guangzhou. This is her first Senior World Cup. Took everything in her stride yesterday, climbed superbly.
And so strong, 2 times Italian champion for the national.
Yeah, I think it's the first comp for Laura, and we saw her many times on the youth comps as well. She's a great competitor. She's still one of the smallest girls at the field. I think she is even a little shorter than Coco, but she's good clever. I'm really wondering if she can overpass this slopey hold on the lip if she gets there, and what strategy is she thinking to use?
Yeah, she's 16, Laura, but if anything, she looks younger than that. She really looks young. She's still very short, but you wouldn't believe it when you watch her climb. Don't bet against her. She looked superb in the qualifiers yesterday.
And both climbers on the wall are great rock climbers too. You know, they have hard takes on the outdoor venues. So it's nice to see the good rock climbers coming for the World Cup venues and trying to climb.
Yeah, nice to see Sean Bailey back in action. You might remember in Kranja last year he missed isolation, therefore we didn't see him in action. Just a bit of a heartbreaker. He's a pretty relaxed guy, but maybe slightly too relaxed. Didn't quite read the timetable correctly.
Yeah, sometimes for these competitors it is hard because they don't have the big support of the teams and the coaches, so everything is on them, and sometimes when the timetable changes or stuff, they don't care to check and recheck and double check, and this is usually the case when they miss the isolation zone.
Yeah, well, on the boulder circuit this year already, we've been to China, Japan, the United States and India, and so I know full well what it's like trying to figure out what time of day it is. Not that simple. Easier said than easier to do than you might think, missing isolation. So Sean, he's made it up to the rest. Laura, meanwhile, 3 minutes 45 left for her, so time unlikely to be an issue. She's just trying to figure out how to make that flip. Sean will take a long rest here. He crashed with me one night last year on his road trip around Europe. I'm pretty sure he's the first person to sleep on my couch who's climbed 9A+. His realisation, Chris Sharma's famous route at Soyuz. Famous 9A+, Sean, so pretty handy on rock. Not too shabby in competition either.
Yeah, biography is like a test piece for the modern sport climbers. You know, they like to just test how strong they are, and if they are as strong as Chris Sharma was years ago, and if they are as strong as Adam Ondra and all the other guys who could do it. So it's always when you come to Soyuz at this time of the year, you see somebody trying it.
And Sean really fighting now. Looking very smooth up until here. He was 4th here in Villars 2016, and he controls the crimp really nicely. We've seen climbers slipping off there. Just needs to figure out how to use the feet. He's ended up in that slightly awkward cross position. What hand will he go with? Goes to the right, but I think he missed the crimp entirely. Might have just touched it with his 4th finger, but good effort from Sean. We'll see where that puts him at the end of the competition. Let's just have another look at it. He ended up in a slightly awkward position, a lot of strain going through the right shoulder and the right elbow. And he found a good position to go from, but the right hand,
oh, a little too short.
Yeah, the right hand had to come all the way round his left arm.
You could see the toe hook on the left, which was helping him just to start the movement, but maybe this is the thing that stopped him just before he reached the crimp.
And Laura finds a knee bar here on the women's route. She's already had one go at the move up to the yellow round volume. She's having another go now, trying to find a better position. As I mentioned, she's short, long legs. She's using them to good advantage here.
We'll see how she overpasses this section. It's a really long move for her. She doesn't have much time to figure it out.
Yeah, 1 minute 30 left on the clock. The 16-year-old from Rome fighting hard here. Clips from a tiny hold. Makes it work. The entirety of the women's route now in the shade. Down to her left, Domen Skofic is out on the men's route, but Laura doing really well on this head wall here. She's got 1 minute and 5 seconds left. Not many opportunities left for a rest after this.
Oh, she's climbing really well. If she doesn't take a long time, it's looking really good for her. Now she's coming to the place where Jessie Pils fell, and now the hard move. Wow, amazing.
Amazing stuff from Laura Rigora, first ever World Cup.
Yeah, now it's a jump to the sloper where she can rest a little bit.
That's the 3rd and 2nd to last hold there. She's on the 3rd to last hold.
20 seconds to go.
Time really becoming a factor here. Laura, she's got to shift. 19, 18 seconds to go. Jumps to the top hold, but doesn't quite make it. Big spectacular fall from Laura, but she will take a huge lead.
Great performance from her.
Pile just having to get his timing right to get her back on the stage, and does it. Domen Skofic is out.
16 seconds to go for Laura. Well done.
Amazing stuff from Laura. Let's have another look at those last few moves. So that's the top hole at the top of your screen there.
It's like the big slopey bench. You cannot really hold the right hand. You just all push with your left palm, and you have to go 100% to the volcano.
She was close to sticking it. It looked as if she didn't quite believe she could make it. She made a slap for it. But superb effort from Laura. She makes her way off the stage. And Domen Skofic, who by his standards had a bad World Cup here in Villars last time. He was 13, having won the first World Cup in Chamonix. This time it's the other way round. We're in Villars first, then Chamonix. He was quite vocal, Domen, about his issues with the 6-minute rule in the final, but nothing's changed for the semi-final. Keep an eye top of your screen. There you see Laura Agora, a healthy lead for her in the women's standings, 41 plus. There's only 42 moves on the women's route.
Elle a déjà énormément d'expérience en Coupe du Monde, Catherine.
Domen, as you'd expect,
Cette année, ici,
not struggling too much as things stand with these moves on the green volumes, but he's got a couple more moves before the rest.
Oh, he's putting his heel. Wow. Well done, Domen.
Very smoothly done.
Very risky for his right heel. Now the foothold is not great. But Domen is great in using his heel. He always puts the heel wherever he can. Hopefully he can recover, and we can still see that the crack section on the head wall, where we saw many climbers struggle to hold the green volume, is still on the sand. So we'll see if Domen can overpass it even when he has this disadvantage.
Sean Bailey currently leading the way, 34 plus in the men's competition. He's tied on 34 plus with Christoph Hanker of Germany, but count back to the previous round, putting Sean in the lead. We do have count back to the previous round to separate the climbers and lead competition. If it gets to the final and we still have ties in qualification and semi-final, it becomes slightly more complicated, but for now we'll focus on the semi-final and rely on count back to the qualifiers.
It was an interesting race that Domen chose to do there. Hopefully he will recover from this.
Yeah, kind of an ice climbing style figure of four. Catherine Chung, meanwhile, of Switzerland, in front of a home crowd. She's out on the women's route. Domen has 34 plus to beat to take a clean lead.
Regardez bien le passage critique. S'il y arrive, bien sûr, comment il va négocier ça. Parce que lui, avec l'expérience.
So Domen is the 8th to last climber out, so if he can take the lead, he'll be guaranteed a place in the final. See the effort beginning to show on his face there, the wall-mounted camera doing a good job of capturing his expression. Still got some energy left in the tank though. We saw climbers earlier on struggling to relax or to at least compose himself in this section. Domen's got a bit left in the tank. He's got that left-hand crimp. Now the effort really beginning to show that 1 minute 20 left on the clock. Just needs to line it up, deciding how to use his feet, where to position his body. Oh! Again, went through the right hand. Looks a bit nonplussed about that. Catherine Chung, meanwhile, on the women's route, used up half of her time. She has 3 of her 6 minutes remaining. So Domen scores just flashed up as 34. That puts him in 3rd place as things stand. It's a joint 3rd place in terms of score, but his count back to the previous round putting him in 3rd place. He's tied the score with Hannes Boomen, Kachira Koranaga and Jan Hoyer. Catherine comes off just on that section on the huge pink triangle in the middle of the Villars wall.
She was climbing really nice over the yellow volume, but just came a little short of the little crimp.
So 8 climbers still to go in the women's competition.
Et ils sont où les Suisses là?
So nobody yet guaranteed their place in the final who's already climbed.
Belge, hein, c'est ça? Non, c'est pas lui.
Meanwhile, 7 climbers still to go in the men's. So Sean Bailey has already guaranteed his place in the final. He's in first place with 7 climbers still to go.
Alors attention, je parle dans l'équipe masculine.
Nicolas Colin of Belgium is out.
Je crois que Loïc, il en a fait une l'année dernière, un an, jamais encore. Loïc, ça va venir.
Nolwenn Ark
Ça va venir.
out on the women's route.
Nicolas Colin, il est du temps. Et pour la France, mesdames et messieurs,
I keep looking at the green holes and he doesn't want to go to the shade today. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we were saying that the sun is off the routes at 11:30. It's 11:38, and there are 4 holes really on the men's route still in the sun.
Nolwenn Ark qui s'élance. Alors, un petit peu pourquoi je dis
Sun not playing its part today, unfortunately.
Pour grimper à ces lances,
Nolwenn Ark,
changé un petit peu dernièrement.
born in the year 2000.
Les 6 minutes.
That will make a lot of people feel very old. 28th overall in 2016. 10th in IFSC being the highlight. 8th last week in the European Championships.
Parce que chez les filles, évidemment, même pas besoin d'avoir grimpé.
She's another young French talented climber who is coming out. You know, it's nice to be watching her climbing on the Youth Cup. Also, it's nice, you know, that they can climb on the World Cup so young, so they can get the experience soon. So when they turn like 18, they are ready for the big competition. Because these climbs are a little different than the climbs for the youth. They start right away. You know, you could see Laura how much time she spent on the beginning of the route. Because for the youth competition, she's not used to climb so hard so soon. She climbs 2/3 of the wall and then the competition starts for her. But here it starts right away from the beginning.
She handled the step up pretty well though, Laura. Extraordinary performance. Actually had a hand on the top hole, couldn't quite stick it, but amazing performance. Handling the big step up, as you've just said, it is a big step up, but she's handling it amazingly well.
Oh, this is different beta for the move. Wow.
Not the easiest way to do the move. Nicolas Colin back in Villars, the scene of his first ever semi-final in 2016.
Et il est jeune, hein, Nicolas Colin. Je crois qu'il est junior 2, c'est ça?
Let's have another look at it. That's a really powerful way to try and do the move.
Let you see his right hand. He did a mistake already in the movement before, but he chose to pop up with the right hand instead of doing the cross. And then it cost him a lot of power to go to the undercling, and his body was too low to start the jump.
Qui malheureusement est décédé en montagne, qu'on adorait et qui venait vraiment grimper beaucoup avec les Français. Chloé Graffio, c'était une fille capable de gagner, de faire podium en diff et en bloc. Et puis Anna Verhoeven, donc le niveau féminin, c'est un tout petit pays, mais ils ont toujours eu des grimpeurs de qualité.
She's up to the yellow volume. Meanwhile, Yuki Hara is out.
She knows she has to keep her body really close to the ball. She even found some resting position. Maybe the volume is finally working for the girls. It looks like it's like 15 minutes in the shade right now, and the friction is getting a little better. Oh, hope she can see the left foothold on the pink volume.
Not a place we've seen many climbers resting that round yellow volume.
You can see her legs, you know, wrapped around the big volume. Just extremely flexible, but she needs to use the left foothold.
Ça passera pas et ça sera beaucoup trop juste pour aller en finale. On peut l'applaudir pour sa superbe 8e
For
place.
the head wall section, we'll confirm the score in just a second when it comes through.
International de sa carrière. Et elle en fera d'autres, c'est sûr. Okay, Japanese
Got a replay here of it. She was on the yellow volume.
She kept her feet on the right, and you can see the big foothold just left of her shoulder. She has to put her left foot there before she tries to reach for the grip.
Because the right foot pushes your hips away, hey?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, after a full day of Europop yesterday, we suddenly got Limp Bizkit here in Villars. Might be able to hear it through our microphones. The DJ, nothing if not unpredictable. Yuki Hado suddenly finds himself alone on the wall as the rope is pulled down on the women's route. Evgenia Kaspikova out now from the Ukraine. Just making her way to the wall now.
Elle est encore assez jeune, Evgenia. Et c'est la seule réelle grosse
and choosing not to use any of her allocated individual observation time. She's getting straight on with it. Meanwhile, Yuki's launching through these green volumes.
Yes, as I mentioned before, it's just amazing how the Japanese, run up this kind of volumes. It's so nice to watch how easy they move over this section.
We went to the B-Pump gym in Tokyo back in May. I have to say, it's an extraordinary facility. Every hold from every major manufacturer. It's like its own little World Cup. They even have a 4-minute clock on the wall to simulate competitions. Unbelievable.
Years ago I went to some bouldering gym in Kyoto, and I felt like I'm in different world. It was just a few weeks before the World Cup in Ukraine, and I was the chief route setter, and I joined a random group of maybe 20 boulder route setters, boys and girls, and they were teaching me how to climb there. So I didn't even want to go to Ukraine because I felt no way, I'm too weak. But now they are just very, very talented and strong climbers over in Japan.
With amazing facilities, as we say. You can see we made a video of our trip to B-Pump. As if you scroll down, you're quite a long way down now on the IFSC Facebook page, but it's down there somewhere. And also our interview with Takako Hoshi, one of the Japanese coaches, which we also did in Tokyo. So if you are interested in Team Japan, I know a lot of people are, check that out. Meanwhile, a member of Team Japan on the wall and doing well, Yuki Hado.
Well done, this was a very risky move, but he kept his left foot on the slippery part of the hold and the right foot on the black volume, which is slippery from the top as well. So you don't get much friction at all.
He made the semi-finals here in Villars last year and also in Chamonix. I've seen him in 3 World Cups in the bouldering already this year, and he's had the, if you like, the worst position of all, 21st, just missing the semis. He's made the semis here. Looking in control. Just got to figure out what to do here. We saw Sean Bailey get himself slightly twisted up on these green and pink holes. Oh! And Yuki just possibly running out of energy. Running out of friction.
There's just not enough friction on the green part, so everyone is trying to find a different data. You can see that the sun is just touching the hole.
Evgenia Kaspikova, meanwhile. The climate really worth keeping an eye on. Did all 3 disciplines in the Paris World Championships. Only 21. If you think that the Olympics is in 3 years' time, she does all 3 disciplines to a high standard, 21 years old. You could do a lot worse than following her career closely. She won the Youth World Championships in Youth B lead back in 2010. Serious competitive and can't quite crack that move with the left hand.
You could tell she was getting tired already on the sloper.
She's already been 14th in 2 Boulder World Cups in 2017. We'll see where that score puts her in this first lead World Cup of 2017. Meanwhile, Romain Desgranges is out. You see there, Laura Gora leading the way. 6 climbers still to come, so Mathilde Becerra and Laura Gora already guaranteed their places in the final, the top 2. Even if they're beaten by the 6 climbers, they will still end up 7th and 8th, and that's enough. Sir Romain Desgranges, 5th to last man. There are 4 climbers still to come after him.
Les Français, s'il vous plaît, innovation pour Bouldering. Si la saison continue comme le début, la semaine dernière, il a battu le dieu
That means
vivant
the top 3 men are guaranteed their place in the final. Sean Bailey, Christoph Hanke and Yuki Hada. Domen Skofic, meanwhile, last year's overall World Cup winner, he's down in 4th. And with 5 climbers still to come, he will be watching nervously. Fingernails will be chewed. Roman, crowned European champion just a week ago. Great climber to watch. Just keeps on motoring. Incredible endurance, incredible crimp strength. I feel he might enjoy this top section of the men's route.
It's really hard to tell now what is going to happen. You know, on the horse, if they are possible to hold or not.
It's all France on the wall right now. Helen Jenico of France out on the women's route. Just started, a couple of moves in. You can see her there, just getting off the lower section of the wall. Amusingly enough, to give you some idea of the temperature, Nolwenn Ark, also France, just walked past our commentary box with bare feet on the tarmac here in Villars, and she was doing that special dance that you do when the floor's too hot to walk on. Still scorching heat. And men's route, a couple of holes still just in the sun. The sun is actually off the wall, but a couple of the volumes just sticking out into the sun. But the actual surface of the wall is now fully in the shade. Roman de Grange is at the rest spot and already moving. 3:40 left on the clock. He won't need to worry about time, that is for sure. Oh, lunges for the hole. That was a high risk move. The speed he did that with. Looks confident. Won Arco in 2016 in the World Cups. Just completed the European Championships and he won that too. A real contender here in Villars 2017. He's just setting himself. Can't quite reach through with the right hand.
So now I'm getting really nervous.
So Helen Jenico. Let's have another look at it. Just couldn't quite figure out what to do with the feet. Did he miss the crimp? Oh, he's pretty accurate with it. He just smacked the quick draw on the way through.
I think he did everything correct.
Just a case of holding it. It's only just gone out of the sun, that crimp, and it'll still be hot. Meanwhile, Helen, she's fighting for a place in the final in Villars. And she slips in the yellow hole, and you can see the frustration. Big scream from her as she fell. Not happy. Just made the one final in 2016. That was Brianne Son. Let's have another look at it. Just couldn't quite find a comfortable position on. Just constantly resetting. There was the scream. So temporarily no climbers on the wall as Helen makes her way off, and Villars struggling to get Roman de Grange untied. Such was the force of his fall. Now it's done. So that puts Roman into 3rd place. So he will make the final. Top 4 now guaranteed their place in the final. Sean Bailey, Christoph Hanke, Roman de Grange and Yuki Hada. Again, Domen Skofic pushed down the order into 5th place. He didn't make the finals here in Villars last year. Are we going to see a repeat? 5 women still to come. That means the top 3 are guaranteed their place in the final. Laura Rigora, extraordinary performance from the 16-year-old Mathilde Becerra and Jessica Pilz. Your current top 3, Hannah Schubert in 4th place, will also be watching nervously.
the only climber who's representing Netherlands, Mr. Jörg Verhoeven.
So Jörg Verhoeven is out, as is Julia Chanaudy
And
of France.
if you remember about the climbing history, 10 years ago, one of the best climbers in the world was from Austria, David Lama. And Jörg Verhoeven did a lot of podium.
Julia, who hails from Aviano in France. First World Cup was Chamonix in 2012. Just missed the semis that day, 27th. 5 years later here in Villars, made it comfortably. Qualified in 5th place.
À Chamonix, il sera plus présent à Briançon, il ira je pense à Séuse.
She was extremely consistent last year, Julia. Never finished outside the top half of the semis. She made 3 finals and the Paris World Championships final. Finished 8th overall. Incredibly consistent. She really seems to find whatever it is that's required to perform at the World Cups in the latter half of 2015. She'd never had a top 10 finish and got 10th, 5th and 9th in the last 3 events of 2015, and since then she's been a very, very consistent performer. Meanwhile, Jörg Verhoeven, a man that needs very little introduction.
And after, for sure, he will go and
pretty much the dictionary definition of an all-rounder. Lead, boulder, indoor, outdoor, you can do it all. And makes that tough cross-through move. Dutch climber, there's not too many Dutch climbers due to geographical reasons. He now lives in Innsbruck in Austria. He's got plenty of experience and he's used it all here because he's climbed to the good rest point in less than 2 minutes. He's now going to take, I would imagine, a pretty long rest. He's got 3:45 left on the clock. Meanwhile, Julia Chanaudy, she's got 4 minutes left on the clock. So they're not far off aligned climbers right now. A similar stage on the wall and a similar amount of time left.
Là, je veux que tu fasses rêver tout le public.
It's interesting to watch all the route setters looking at the hulks at on the headboard, just waiting for them to get to the shade and just pray for somebody to overcome this hard section.
Yeah, on the men's side, there's 2 volumes that are still partially in the shade, one of which Jörg has just gone for and latched. It would seem fairly comfortably, but as you move up on those volumes, they become harder to hold. Goes out for the crimp with the right hand now. And again, that's the second volume that has a bit of in the shade. Slightly different Peter from Jörg. He was trying something different, but he didn't like it. He'll reset and go again. Oh. And again, the cross through with the right hand to the crimp. To Jörg. And Julia Chanaudy not happy as she went for the first moves onto the headwalk. She's on her way down.
Okay, we still have 3 climbers.
I think holding the right hand for Julia was really hard. The hold is just very, very small. She should just focus on the right foot, place it well, and go directly for the bucket.
So that put Jörg Verhoeven with 34, same score as 6 other climbers, but due to count back to the previous round, that puts him in 3rd place. So Jörg will climb in this evening's final. He can't be displaced. There's only 3 climbers still to come. Meanwhile, Julia Chanaudy, 31 plus for her. Puts her in 6th place, and there's 4 climbers still to come. She'll have a nervous watch, and out comes, running out there, Mina Markovic, a legend rock climbing, competition rock climbing. Won World Cups in Boulder and Lead, no mean feat. A very exclusive club of climbers who've done that.
In Paris for the World Championship. Et rappelez-vous
Meanwhile,
qu'elle avait fait, elle
Yuval
aussi, un
Shemela
départ de saison
of
catastrophique.
Israel.
L'année dernière, elle voulait arrêter l'escalade. On l'a
Superb
récupérée
performance from him in the qualifiers yesterday, came through in third place.
Elle s'est entraînée comme une malade pendant tout le mois
Only
d'août.
beaten
Et elle a
by
réussi
two
à
climbers yesterday.
ramener une médaille pour son pays avec Yann Lagambrette.
So although they've set off at the same time, Mina and Yuval, excuse me,
du monde, Mina Markovic.
the women are actually one climber behind. Mina's fourth to last.
Je voudrais que la Suisse, vous ne
Yuval
me
is
trouviez
third
pas
to last.
sexiste. Mais regardez bien la différence de grimpe entre Mina.
Yeah, I had the chance to speak to Yuval yesterday, and he was really excited about the routes, and it's like a big dream for him to be here and climbing with the strongest climbers on the world. He's a really nice guy, always enthusiastic, and always really happy to be around the top climbers on the world.
Yeah, 13th in the European Championships last week,
Heide.
and he made the semi-finals. His first ever lead World Cup, that was him last year. Climber well worth watching.
Yeah, this year he said, like, just before this comp started, that he did quite well last week in Campitello, and he made a few more World Cups this year. So I think after this semi-final he may readjust his things. Hopefully he will do all of them.
Yeah, it'd be good to see. We want the competition to be as fierce as possible. Here's Mina Markovic, taking a minute and a half to get here. She's got 4:30 left. Interesting to watch Mina last year. She at times didn't seem to quite read the routes as well as some of the other climbers. Seemed to be one of her downfalls last year, but we know that she's got it in her to do extremely well. She's a serious contender here.
Yeah, I think with Mina it's up and down. You know, sometimes when she gets the right rhythm right from the beginning of the route, she can climb really well, and she can match, you know, the best girls on the world, and she can be really, really strong. And sometimes you just watch her and you say, oh no, Mina, what are you doing here? But yeah, she's an amazing climber, and it's always nice to have her at the competition.
So Yuval launching into this top section on the one of only two holes that's still in the sun. Makes a crimp stick, and he's furious with himself. He just slapped that left foot slightly carelessly. Still enjoys the applause of the crowd though.
Good job and congratulations Yuval.
You can see here he just whacked the left foot.
Good job. And Mina Markovic.
So he got the right hand,
She was
and that left foot just slipped off and couldn't keep himself on, and he knew he'd made a slight mistake.
Yeah, you could see he was focusing on and aiming for the volume right away, trying to speed up his climbing because he was really pumped.
He was already thinking about the next move. So we'll focus on Mina Markovic, as you said, very up and down. Made every final 2016 other than Villars.
Oh, I let
2015, extraordinary year for her, won 4 World Cups and the European Championships. And a consistent year last year, as I say, but no World Cup wins. She's determined to put that right. She has been training hard all winter. Spoke to her yesterday. See that interview on our qualifying highlights, which were at the top of our broadcast today, and also on YouTube. She has been training hard. She wants to be back on the top of the podium, but my oh my, she has some competition.
Je vous donnerai son palmarès ce soir. Elle a plus de 30 victoires en Coupe du Monde, Mina.
Mina is just reaching the crimping section here. It's really important to stay calm on here. Try to rest as much as you can. Choke up your fingertips so they don't get sweaty. Because after, remember, there is the sloper with the thumb cage. And 2 or 3 girls had a problem to hold it already. Mina is still keeping her foot on the lower foothold.
She seems to have read this pretty well thus far. 1 minute 30 on the clock for Mina, so time unlikely to be an issue because there ain't much chance to rest from here on out.
Well done, Mina.
Felia Samoilov out on the men's route.
She's climbing really well. This is the holds for her. Wow.
That'll be enough for Mina though.
Amazing performance from Mina. It's nice to see her in the final again.
Yeah, she will be in the final, that'll be enough. I think she knows that. She looked a bit confused when she came off the wall, not disappointed, just
It's a good
a little confused. Let's have another look at it.
Yeah, I think she knew she didn't do 100%.
She did what was required.
Allez, le petit
Vastly
Ukrainien, on
experienced. First World Cup was in Imps 13 years ago.
Lui aussi, s'il pouvait
She
sauver
knows
la
what's
première
required
carrière, la
to get the
première
job
de sa
done.
carrière, ce
She
serait
does it.
beau. Tu es prêt, DJ? Voilà, les gens souvent
So,
pensent que je suis
second
sexiste quand je
to
compare
last
la grimpe de Mina
male
avec
climber,
celle qui va
Federer out.
venir.
Had a
Et
fantastic
j'espère
day
que vous
yesterday
arrivez
in
à prendre la
qualifiers.
notion de la différence. Mesdames et
And
messieurs,
we're at
celle
the
qu'on a
stage where
longtemps
we'll be able to
surnommée
confirm
la reine de
almost all of the
l'escalade
final.
par
The
sa
top
douceur,
6 now
par sa puissance.
guaranteed to go
Et
through.
par
Dom
tout
and
ce qu'elle
Skofic
dégage.
will make through because
Une légende
will make
dans son
finals
pays,
because
dans
Yuval
son pays encore, et
Schildklar
plus
could
de-
not
plus
displace
de
him.
35 victoires en Coupe du Monde.
So the top 6 in the men who will be in the final are Sean Bailey, Christoph Hanke, Jorg Verhoeven, Roman Negron, Yuki Hada and Domen Skofic. As it stands, Hannes Puman and Kachiro Koronaga will join them, but the final two, Hannes and Kachiro, could be displaced. Meanwhile, in the women, there are 3 climbers still to go, including Jane Kim, who's just made her way onto the wall, and that means that the top 5 are guaranteed a place in the final. Laura Rigora, Mina Markovic, who we've just seen, Mathilde Becerra, Jessie Pilt, and Hannah Schubert, all guaranteed their place. 6th, 7th and 8th, and Sophie Koller, Julia Shanodi and Noen Ark will be watching nervously. Those 3 in the final as it stands, but potentially out. Jane Kim, Anna Verhoeven, Janja Garnbrick in this place.
Must be really hard for them to watch if you know that these 3 climbers are just about to go.
I'd leave personally. I wouldn't watch.
En une seule traction, le corps plaqué au mur, c'est impressionnant. C'est celle qui a l'entraînement et l'échauffement le plus casanier. La première athlète au monde à être sponsorisée Red Bull. Une des rares athlètes professionnelles à gagner vraiment sa vie par sa passion.
Okay. So
Elle portera la flamme
the young
olympique
Ukrainian
l'année
climber
prochaine
is just
pour les Jeux Olympiques
resting
d'hiver.
at the beginning of the headwall. He's extremely flexible in his hips. You can always see when he's climbing. He's little like Domen Skofic, just putting his heel hooks everywhere, bringing his feet much higher than the other competitors. I saw him training a few times and he's extremely, precise and training really hard. It's nice to see him fighting for his final chance. And I think now when he's holding this hold, it could mean the final for him.
He's making superb progress. You can see him there high on the wall, lower down on the right, Jane Kim doing what she does best, climbing precisely and in control, measuring the time perfectly. Federer just chalk it up. Remember, we haven't seen the top of this men's route or the women's route. Laura Rigora touched the top hole, but she didn't top the route.
Oh, he's matching on the little hole.
Oh no, that is
This is
extraordinary
amazing.
from Federer.
Oh, come on. This is amazing. Well done, come on.
Is he lining up to go? No, he goes to the left.
Well done. This is amazing. This hold he matched is crazy. I think he just saved the route surgeons at least a little bit.
Federer powering his way right through these green volumes. Amazing performance from him.
Well done. Come on.
Extraordinary performance. He'll be in the lead here. He's still got
Yay. Nice.
He's still had a couple of moves to go. Fantastic effort though.
Well done.
Amazing effort from Federer. He'll cruise into the final.
First one now. Federer. Allez, Kim Yain, mesdames et messieurs. Orgasme sportif.
Let's have another look at it. You can see how hard he was fighting.
We are just looking at ourselves with the jury president of this competition, and we just could not believe how he could match on this little crib. It's just so small. You could see the climbers were grabbing it only with 2 hands and were unable to stick it, and Federer just set really high on his left foot and was able to match on this. Amazing performance, well done.
Superb from Federer, absolutely amazing performance. kept fighting, Just goes to show in lead climbing, if you do one move, you might do the next one. Just keep going. It's not over until it's over. He just kept fighting, kept going. Absolutely immense from him. He will cruise into the finals.
And now we can watch Kim Chae-in getting really comfortable on the top of the female semi-final route.
She's never rushed as Jane Kim, but she's still ended up with 2 minutes to go.
She's at the place where Mina Markovic was struggling. She has to lift her foot, pop again, and now it's really hard jump onto the sloper. Well done, Kim.
Oh, fantastic work from Jane Kim. Are we about to see the first top of this women's route? That's the last hole at the top of your screen.
Jump for the top. Whoa!
Oh, that was close from Jane Kim.
Well done.
Huge grin on her face. I think she enjoyed that. And the belayer gets his timing right and she lands back on the stage. Let's have another look at it. I think she knew that it didn't actually matter if she topped the route. She didn't go from quite as high as she could have done. Let's have a look. She got a good hand. Now, I think she was, in her head, she was already falling by the time the hand landed.
Yeah, I think there was the little mistake of the left hand where she left the hold a little too soon. She should just press down and then jump directly deep into the volcano.
And unfortunately our camera's just behind Jane Kim, but I can tell you that when she faced the crowd there, she had an enormous grin on her face. Superb performance, no worries for her, she'll be climbing this evening. Thanks to Belair and heads in. Stefano Ghisolfi is out, the last man out.
The last man is out and the hold is in the shade.
Yes, conditions as good as they have been. Domen Skofic is actually in the drop zone here. He's ended up in 8th place. Wasn't really keeping an eye on the scores. He's in 8th place. Stefano Ghisolfi can knock him out here.
Quand elle était jeune, Anna, elle a gagné toutes les Coupes d'Europe. Elle se battait avec Julia Chalourdi, avec Salomé Romain. Allez, Stefano Ghisolfi, il faut croiser les doigts pour son épaule.
So Anna Verhoeven is out on the women's route, the third Belgian woman in today's semi-final. Stefano Ghisolfi, meanwhile, winner in Xiamen in 2016, recently moved to Arco, which if you've ever been to Arco, you'll know is not a bad result. Not short of places to train there, that's for sure.
Stefano really comfortable during the first section of the wall. Now he's resting, getting ready for the hard fight for the final.
In the women's, Anne-Sophie Collet and Julia Chanordi are 7th and 8th. They can be knocked out by Janja and Anak. Domen Skofic, meanwhile, can be knocked out by Stefano Ghisolfi here. Just to confirm, that was Federer's first ever World Cup final. Superb effort from him. Meanwhile, Stefano Ghisolfi.
And you could see Anak would do anything just not to Campus, but then after the mistake yesterday in the qualification, she said, alright, I Campus, I played the game. If you push me, I just do what you want. Nice to hear. Stefano on the track. Oh!
Voilà, on peut l'applaudir. Ça suffira quand même, je pense. Voilà, Stefano Ghisolfi.
Stefano lowered to the ground. Didn't look too impressed with his performance there.
Because you are in final. Yeah, normally, and officially, we are waiting the result, but right, so many. No, so it's just.
Stefano being told by the venue MC that he's in the final, but I think he'd rather see it confirmed.
Tout au long de la journée, tout au long du week-end. Allez, on vous laisse avec Anak. Il y a son papa derrière, il y a la famille.
And he's not in the final. I was thinking the venue MC might have had his facts mixed up there. I didn't want to contradict him, but Stefano Ghisolfi ends up in 11th place, so he's not in the final.
Yeah, it was just a little cream. He was not controlling it.
Yeah, as I say, the venue MC said to him, don't worry, Stefano, you're in the final. And we thought, not sure about that. Unfortunately, he's incorrect. Stefano is out 11th place for him, so Dom and Skofic will go through. We can now confirm your men's final. We'll keep an eye on Anak Verhoeven. But in the meantime, Fede, amazing performance from Fede Samorolov of Ukraine. He's into his first final. Sean Bailey's through. He was 4th last time in Villars in 2016. Christoph Hanker is through. Jan Hoyer, be interested to see him go in the final. He's through in 4th. Jörg Verhoeven, Roman de Grange, Yuki Hada and Dom and Skofic. What a final that will be.
That is amazing.
Meanwhile, in the women, Jane Kim, Laura Rigora, Mina Markovic, Matilda Becerra, Jessie Piltz and Hannah Schubert will be in the final. Can Anak Verhoeven and Janja Garnbret, the two dominant figures of 2016, join them. You can see top of your screen now the small results coming across. Fede, what a performance from him. So no tops on the men's route, very close, but no cigar. Anak, meanwhile,
Anak had to fight on this move. She kept her feet really low below the roof, and she knew she had to stop the swing, but she did very well with this.
Yeah, she was crowned European champion last week along with Roman de Grange. Very calculating competitor, really thinks about climbing, analysed it, very scientific approach.
Really nice goal. It helps a lot in this section. You just can calm down, choke up a little bit.
Got plenty of time, 2 minutes left, slightly over actually, 2 minutes and 5 seconds now.
She's checking the time right now on her harness. She's ready. Trying to be the first one to reach the top of the wall.
So she doesn't need to top, remember we haven't had a top of this women's route. It would be a big statement though, because also worth bearing in mind, so many times in 2016, particularly in the women's lead, it came down to countback. We often saw Janja and Anak match each other's performance in the final. Janja often taking the victory due to
that's a
countback.
scary heel hook.
So Anak will know the semi-final is vitally important. She will try to top if at all possible.
Well done, Anak.
Staying nice and calm, but these are hard moves she's on now. She's got 1:10 left. No issues on time.
Oh, she just slipped.
She just slips. It's enough to make the final, but she'll know, as I said from last year, that it could come back to haunt her. Let's have another look at it. She got the left foot up. She was trying to position the right.
Everybody in Switzerland is
And she had the right foot just popped.
The foot hole is just a really small, you know, screw on what they put on, just to place your ball so you know where to step. But then it was crucial to bring your left, you know, foot really high and then focus on the jump.
And she even had time to look at her right foot afterwards. She had a split second where she realised what was happening. She's off. And as I say, last season, semi-final was often key. Anak now just needs to concentrate on doing her job in the final. She'll be there, that's for sure.
S'il vous plaît, representing Slovenia, world champion, the girls would never fall.
Puts in third place from Anak Verhoeven. Out comes Janja Garnbret. I actually quite enjoy listing her achievements of 2016 because it's so incredible. Are you ready? So she was the overall World Cup winner in 2016. That included 4 World Cup wins, including all of the first 3. She then won the World Championship in Paris, the Youth World Championship in lead and boulder. And already in 2017 she's won 2 boulder World Cups. She is a phenomenon, I think it would be fair to say. 4th in the European Championships last week, which by her high standards is a bad result. And also in Vale, in the last Boulder World Cup she participated in. Remember, she didn't come to Mumbai. She broke her extraordinary run of making every final of every senior IFSC event she's participated in. She didn't make the final in Vale. So after that, and 4th place in the European Champs, has her head been thrown slightly? Didn't look that way in the qualifiers, but this is where the pressure really comes on in the semi.
Nico, tu vas garder celle-là jusqu'au gros volume rose. Maintenant, on peut commencer à parler, parce que ce sera la dernière à partir. Ensuite, on vous donnera rendez-vous ce soir à 20h. Présentation des finalistes des 8 meilleurs garçons. Attention, parce que je vous ai annoncé la meilleure grimpeuse du monde. N'allez pas à l'abri non plus d'une erreur. Hein. Et on a connu une d'ailleurs la semaine dernière au championnat d'Europe. Elle a fini seulement.
No issues so far for Janja. 1 minute 30 left. Taken up already, sorry, 4 minutes 30 left.
Mais elle est quand même assez hors norme. Hein. L'année dernière, elle a remporté Chamonix en finissant dans une tempête.
Yeah, she looks comfortable on the big volume.
Elle avait les cheveux qui partaient de tous les côtés. Et elle nous a quand même liquidé la voie de Chamonix.
I think she knows she has to climb high in the semi-final.
Would be nice to see a top in the semi, not seen one yet. Very close and fed here in the men's.
Pour lui. On peut pas faire une finale ce soir sans elle, c'est pas possible. Haydi, Janja, haydi. Et là, Laura, elle doit avoir les yeux ouverts en grand. Parce que si elle fait la même perf que Kim et Janja, franchement, c'est juste incroyable. Et l'Italie, les gars, vous travaillez super bien, hein, les Italiens. Bravo, hein, la vitesse, magnifique. Le bloc, il y a du boulot encore un petit peu, mais ça va le faire. La difficulté.
So Janja, 3 minutes 25. She's not climbed amazingly quickly. I think she's probably measured it pretty well.
Allez, Janja. Allez, vas-y, bascule. Balance la musique à Janja.
Of course, local fans will be watching this with their fingers crossed, because Anne-Sophie Koller is currently sitting in 8th place. Local Swiss climber. Janja, as yet untroubled on this route. 2 minutes 50 on the clock. Seems to have got her timing pretty much perfect. Just levers onto that left heel.
It is a really technical heel. It's again one of the dual texture holds, so you have to be very precise. Look where you place your heel, because you can just readjust and you can slip very easily. So I always don't look when the girls are putting the heels like this. But of course for her right now it helps. She can get ready for the last section.
She's just taking her time. No doubt she's aware of how much time she's got, over 2 minutes still, so no issue at all. Would be great to see a top there. Remember, count back from the previous round counts if there is a tie in the final, so Annette Verhoeven will be worried watching this. Janja just trying to figure out the most efficient way of doing these moves. Aim. Oh! And just didn't quite read that one correctly. We'll confirm her exact score. She won't go into the finals in first place. Let's have another look at it. It almost looked as if she jumped clean to the wall. Let's have another look. The left foot goes up. She rotates onto it. And it was the right hand that went. From the angle we were watching it, it looked as if she almost jumped.
Yeah, you could really see like she was readjusting and then she spent too long time on the gripper and then she slipped.
Ça lui va bien, hein. 16 ans, incroyable. Mesdames et messieurs, merci Villars-sur-Roland. On va prendre un break, il y aura plein de choses pour vous aujourd'hui. Il y aura l'initiation, la tyrolienne, la slackline, highline avec les highliners du Valais.
So just to confirm, your final this evening here in Villars will be Jane Kim, Laura Rigora, Janja Garnbret, Anna Verhoeven, Mina Markovic, Mathilde Becerra, Jessie Pilz and Hannah Schubert. What an extraordinary final that will be. Lower down the order, Anne-Sophie Koller, the local hope, unfortunately just misses out, as does Catherine Chung down there in 12th. Helen Janico, Salome Roman. Might have expected to see slightly higher up the order. No joy today. They've got 2 French World Cups coming up now. They will have their chances in the next few weeks. And rounding out the women's semi-final, Chloe Collier and Risa Ota down there. We saw them slipping on that big round grey volume. And in the men's competition, first ever final for Fedor Samoilov of Ukraine. He'll be followed by Sean Bailey, Christoph Hanke, Jan Hoyer, Jörg Verhoeven, Roman de Grand, Yuki Hada and Domen Skofic. My oh my, what a treat we are in for this evening. Two incredibly strong finals. Hannes Puman just misses out, as does Kichiro Toranaga. They look like they might have made the final, didn't quite. Stefano Gasolfi, we would have expected to see him in the top 8. He doesn't make it. The same could be said of Sebastian Halenka, who won last time out in Kran back in November. Alexei Rubtsov, the boulderer, down in 17th. Good to see him climbing in the lead. Loic Timmermans and Francesco Vetterata, again, might have expected them to be slightly higher up the order, but plenty of lead World Cups still to come this season. And David Fernenberg down in 26th. So, fantastic semi-final here in Villars. The final is 8 p.m. this evening. Big thank you to Jan and Ranek for joining me. Thank you. And we'll see you at 8 p.m.